NFL's finest, the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. And the Cowboys, in a stunning departure from character, will open the season with a new face at quarterback, Gary Hogaboom. Hogaboom will replace Danny White as he did in the 1982 NFC Championship game against Washington. Hogaboom in one half of play with shots like this to Butch Johnson and sideline passes to Drew Pearson almost brought the Cowboys back to victory. But his supporting cast has changed dramatically. Pearson is gone, Johnson is gone, and the pressure on the youngster tonight is enormous. Hogaboom's counterpart for the Rams tonight is Vince Ferragamo, with one of the strongest arms in the game. Ferragamo also has a new cast of receivers. Here he looks for David Hill, who had Pro Bowl years at Detroit. Hill will open for an injured Mike Barber at tight end. But still remaining with the Cowboys and Rams are two of the game's great running backs. The Cowboys, Tony Dorsett, has in a few short years rewritten the Dallas record book. He's already over 8,000 yards, and a big season would put him over the magical 10,000-yard mark. With twisting, darting runs, and great speed on the outside, Dorsett is a threat to go all the way on any play. So, too, is his counterpart on the Rams, Eric Dickerson, the big second-year back who led the league as a rookie with over 1,800 yards and set an NFL record of 390 attempts. Tonight, the Rams and the Cowboys kick off the 15th season of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, looking down from the Goodyear Blimp, Columbia. A sellout crowd expected tonight, 69,000 plus for the 1984 season opener between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. These two teams have met so many times in meaningful games over the past few years. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and along with O.J. Simpson and Don Meredith, we're looking forward to what we feel will be a truly fine football game. I think it would be appropriate just to take a moment and mention that Howard Cosell will not be with us on Monday Night Football, my colleague for 14 years, my friend for many, many more years than that. Howard, in his own wisdom, has decided he'd cut back on his travel plans and his broadcast chores to spend more time with his family. But Howard has had a tremendous impact, a profound impact on the world of sports broadcasting and also on professional football. We, in all honesty, are going to miss Howard, and we know he's watching tonight, and we probably know where he's watching. So, Howard, reach over and give Emmy a little pat and sit back and enjoy the game along with Don and O.J., and we hope a lot of other people throughout the entire nation. I mentioned these two teams, the Rams and the Cowboys, have met many times over the past few years. Last year, they met as wild card playoff teams, and the Rams totally dominated the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys have changed dramatically since then, but so too have these Los Angeles Rams. Johnny Robinson, in his second year now, has not only got Eric Dickerson, he's got some speed on the outside. He feels he can go deep, and that would make a tremendous difference for him. They have a good, strong offensive line, one of the finest in the league. Meanwhile, Tom Landry has turned things around down in Dallas. Tom Landry has 12 rookies on this team. 16 out of 52 active players from a year ago are no longer Dallas Cowboys. He is quite serious about things, and he made that perfectly clear earlier in the week when he nominated his new quarterback, Gary Hogaboom, to take over from Danny White. And who knows better about quarterback changes in Dallas than the dandy one himself, Don Meredith, who was involved in one many years ago himself. And Don, do you think it was difficult for Tom to make this change? He likes to keep things stable.
Yeah, he does. It seems to me, Tom, the most difficult thing that Tom had to do was learn to pronounce his new quarterback's name was Hogaboom. There for a while, we thought his pa's Derek. No, in all seriousness, I think it probably was the easiest choice he could have made. There's been a lot of changes that you've alluded to, and Danny White knows what Danny can do. He's the second top-rated passer in all of National Football League history, as a matter of fact. So I guess when Tom looked around, he says, hey, if it's not this one, the next stop, they may start looking at the head coach. He made a change. He got a young quarterback, a lot of young players. And I think it's probably a good change. But there's going to be two great running backs, O.J. We've got Tony Dorsett from the Cowboys and Eric Dickerson at the Rams. There's not too many of them better than those two.
I tell you, Don, I'm really excited about this because I think they are two of the greatest breakaway runners who ever played this game. Dorsett, you remember his 99-yard touchdown run, a record that could never be broken. And Dickerson, I bet you over the next 5 years, there'll be no back that has more long runs than Eric Dickerson. Now, the Cowboys love to play run defense on first down. They consistently over the last 10 years been the best defense against the run. And I think what the Rams are going to have to do is throw the ball, throw it on first down, loosen up that defense, give Dickerson some room. And if they're successful in doing that, we may have a foot race here tonight, Frank.
All right. We look down on the field from high atop Anaheim Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys are set to kick off. There was action this afternoon on Labor Day up in Seattle because of a baseball conflict. A stadium was scheduled for both dates, and baseball one over, and it was Seattle winning 33-0 over Cleveland. We understand that Kurt Warner will undergo arthroscopic surgery, the fine running back for Seattle. We'll get a later report on that at halftime. You had a quick look at Barry Redden, who has dropped for the Rams. Raphael Seption set to kick off the 1984 Dallas Cowboy football season against the Los Angeles Rams. Set to go. The last time the two teams met, it was 24-17, the Rams, as the Rams went on to meet Washington for the NFC Conference Championship. Barry Redden, short, squat, powerful, and Redden out over the 20-yard line to the 23, hit there by Gene Lockhart, one of the fine rookie middle linebackers for the Dallas Cowboys. Vince Ferragamo, he's a bomber. He likes to go up on top, but he has, of course, Eric Dickerson in the backfield. Johnny Robinson recognizing that Ferragamo is a good long passer as we look at the offensive skill position for these Rams, as starting a couple of real speedsters on the outside, Henry Ellard and Drew Hill. There's an offensive line that tied Miami last year for the least amount of sacks. So they performed well in not only pass blocking, but also helping Eric Dickerson lead the NFL in rushing as a rookie with 1,808 yards. Dickerson wears that number 29, and Ferragamo mistiming it with Henry Ellard out on the right side, working against Everson Walls. And let's take a look at this Cowboy defense, bolstered, of course, by the return of Randy White only a week ago. There he is, All-Pro for so many years, in the Pro Bowl the last 7 years. Randy White came back at the beginning of the week. Those are the linebackers. The middle linebacking position, Bob Brunig, he missed much of the preseason with a bad back. And there is a secondary that would turn into a 7-man defensive secondary on a sure passing situation. The Dallas Cowboys, they were 12-4 last year, but keep in mind, and I'm sure if you followed this game, you watched them against Washington, they were annihilated in the next to the last game of the season. Then they lost dramatically to the 49ers, and here is Johnny Robinson, his team, 9-7 on the year, defeating Dallas in the wild card playoffs. And Johnny Robinson was having a word with our referee tonight, Jim Tunney. That is the delay in the game. But then Johnny Robinson, after defeating the Cowboys, went into Washington, where they were truly wiped out by the Washington Redskins. We think the problem is the stadium clock. We will be getting things underway very shortly. There is Drew Hill, the speedster we spoke of earlier, and he really can fly, O.J. And they have another one, Ron Brown, they acquired from Cleveland, a rookie out of Arizona State. You recall him from the Olympics, your own coverage.
He can fly, and you look at their two starters, Hill and Ellard. You're looking at two guys with career averages of over 20 yards a catch. Now, I thought it was interesting that the Rams threw the ball on first down. We knew they'd have to do that because the Cowboys love to play the run on first down. Unfortunately, they threw to Everson Walls' side, and it's a pretty difficult side to run on.
You know, we might have a real fun football game because the coaches up at the stadium, we're told now, cannot communicate with the bench. Ha! That could lighten things up.
Yeah, I like that. And we can't hear old Jim, too. I'm going to miss Jim. Come on, Jim. Now, I'm into sign language.
Teams are now
Oh,
functioning.
boy. Now he's got it.
Good news from down in the field. Jim Tunney telling us that the coaches can now communicate with the sidelines. It would have been much more fun the other way. Johnny Robinson said, I don't understand him anyway. All right, set to go once again. Second down and 10. Ferragamo didn't play that much in preseason. Jeff Kemp saw a lot of duty as the backup quarterback, but Johnny Robinson knows what Ferragamo can do. He knows what Eric Dickerson can do. Dickerson did not go that much in preseason either. On second and 10, again, Ferragamo with a lot of time, but nevertheless, he gets dragged down. It was Mike Hegman on the blitz from the left side linebacker position, and Ferragamo loses about 4 yards back inside his own 20-yard line. It'll bring up third down. A long, big change for the Cowboys. They bring in 7 defensive backs. All the linebackers come out. They bring in Victor Scott, a rookie from Colorado, and Dexter Clinkscale at the linebackers. Then they have Walls and Fellows and Carl Howard as the cornerbacks. They cover the wide receivers. And then they also bring in Dennis Thurman. He joins Michael Downs as safety. So that is what Ferragamo is looking over on a third down and 14. And the Cowboys don't mind blitzing either. Here they come. Ferragamo reads it quickly, fires to Ellard. Ellard upended.
Tackle.
Good tackle against Ellard by Michael Downs. And the Rams, first possession, will have to punt away.
Not too terribly surprised. We talked to Coach Robinson this morning, O.J., and you played with him too, but he says the best way to do that run, set up that run, is to pass. They come out and try to throw 3 of them, right?
Gary Allen, dangerous return man. The Cowboys got him last year. Probably the most dangerous return man they've had in years. John Misko does the punting for the Los Angeles Rams. Allen back around his own 30-yard line. Misko hits a beauty. It hangs up there forever. And Allen did not go for the fair catch, and that ball hung up there by Misko, seemingly for an eternity, and it allowed hustling Ivory Solly to get down under it. Now, let's take a look at Gary Hogeboom. We told you a little bit about him in the tease during the preseason. He was out for a couple of weeks, did not perform that well. Against Houston last week, he came on and rallied the Cowboys, 7 of 12, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, that in the second half. But in all the regular season play of 4 years, he's 14 of 25, 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. That's the extent of his play. On first down and 10, Hogeboom fires right over the middle, and he gets rid of the butterflies as he gets it to Cosby for a gain of about 6 yards. Defensively for the Rams, they don't have much of a pass rush, and what they do have comes from Jack Youngblood, who's getting up there in age, but nevertheless is a fine physical specimen still. Linebackers, they're good against the run. The corners are fairly strong, and Gary Green on the left corner is a superb athlete acquired offseason from Kansas City. He was somebody that Robinson knew he had to have. He gave a first-round pick and a fifth-round pick to get Gary Green. It's second down and 5. The ball at the 30-yard line for the Cowboys. That's Newsom in motion. This is Dorsett. And Dorsett at the line of scrimmage, taken out of bounds. Gary Green up from the left corner there defensively, getting help from the inside.
Now tell me, Don, now Dallas, I know they like to shift a lot. They shift 3 guys. They moved about 4 different times, and not one Ram moved.
Well, and they didn't pick up anything, so maybe it didn't work that time. But they've got kind of this new thing called the rover, and I'm not sure what all that means, but I know they're trying to get Ron Springs to play that tight end position a little bit, so we'll see if it works again.
Rams change on third down and a long 5. Out come a couple of linebackers, and they bring in a couple of extra defensive backs. Mainly Vince Newsom, he's back there in their 5-back defense. Hogeboom from the shotgun. He's got a strong arm.
He sure does.
And he almost threw that one out of the stadium. Not a bad choice, however. Both receivers, principally Doug Cosby, well covered by the Rams defense. Cosby looking back, saying, come on over here, Gary. Let's have a little word or two.
It'd be much better the next time they get the ball, Frank. I don't care who you are. You know, the kid comes out, and he knows what's been going on down there in Dallas, and it's going to be hard. That ball, it was going up when he went over the sideline.
Henry Ellard led the NFL a year ago in punt returns, although you saw he didn't return that many. Had a 13.6 average. Great speed. This is Jim Miller. Kicks with the bare foot, as you can see. Almost got a block. He had to hurry it. It's low, the kind you can run back. And Ellard, although he did not get much of a return, it was a low, short kick, and the Rams will have good field position at the 38-yard line. Opening season for the Rams and the Cowboys, and we'll be returning to Anaheim on a beautiful Southern California night in just a moment. In preseason play, the Dallas Cowboys were 3-1. They defeated Houston last week in a bit of a struggle. The Rams were 2-2. Johnny Robinson apparently not taking it all that serious as he was looking at a lot of people and splitting the time between quarterbacks Vince Ferragamo and Jeff Kemp. Jeff Kemp coming on to earn that solid backup quarterback role.
All right, now they're going to see some running.
On first and 10 at the 36-yard line, Eric Dickerson back in that deep tailback spot. And he gets his first attempt of the night. And the big man breaks it back, and he's collected there by John Dutton, the defensive left tackle for the Cowboys, after a gain of about a yard. Eric Dickerson, as I mentioned at the very top of the season, stunned everyone when he came in as the #1 draft pick a year ago. 1,808 yards. O.J., that's not bad duty for a rookie.
Yeah, he's great. He's got good vision. He reacts well. Like, even on that play, he gained 1 yard, but right away he saw the key block on the outside backer that they were supposed to kick him out. They didn't make the block. He turned it up and got a yard.
Not bad on durability. He carried the ball at NFL record 390 times. They mark it near the 38. A pickup of 2. It'll be second down and 8. Ferragamo tries to get it to Drew Hill. And Drew Hill, who goes about a tall 5'9", and I think they were stretching matters with Drew Hill, could not get up for it. I'd be just a little shaky here in the opening going. Season opener, national television, and so much is on the line for both teams. I would have to say the pressure, of course, enormous on the Cowboys, coming off A season last year that had to be a tremendous disappointment, not only to the Cowboy organization, a new one now under Bum Bright, but also to their head coach, Tom Landry. Third down, out of the shotgun, 3rd and 8. Ferragamo fires incomplete. It was Dickerson coming out of the backfield from the wing spot, and that was one he could have had, and it could have been deep in Cowboy territory. But again, it'll be 4th down, and John Misko will come on once again.
Pretty good coverage, though, that time. Dexter Clingsfield had him. He had plenty of time to throw, and he just couldn't shake Dexter all the way.
Well, it's apparent what they're going to do is throw the ball and try to loosen up all of these defensive backs on both teams, and I think as the game goes on, you'll see Dorsett and Dickerson get a little more room to run in.
Misko, who had a tremendous punt on his first effort, gets another high hanging punt, this time a little shorter, and Misko has wised up from his past experience, calls for the fair catch, and takes it at the 25-yard line. 37-yard punt. And there is Tom Landry in his 25th year as the Cowboys coach. The Rams and the Cowboys in the early going with 12-11 remaining in the first quarter and no score. A little bit like a heavyweight championship fight. Both kind of feeling each other out. And Gary Hogaboom is feeling out a very strange position. The starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. First down and 10. The Cowboys near their own 25-yard line.
Look out.
And Hogaboom,
That's the fumble.
does not get that off and is taken by Jack Youngblood.
Make things happen on defense.
Youngblood got in there on Hogaboom.
Was it Jack Youngblood that hit him, or is it somebody came from the other side? There was nobody that blocked him.
They're doing what you should do, and that is an inexperienced quarterback like Hogaboom put the blitz on, and
No,
that is
that's
the outside
Andrews.
linebacker, Andrews. Now Jack Youngblood, who is usually around the football, in a full sprint, picks it up in good stride, and he is tackled and taken down by Kurt Peterson, but not until he gets to the 2-yard line.
Well, we said the Rams didn't have much of a pass rush. Last year they didn't. In the preseason, they've had 11, and John Robinson told us this morning, Don, that they weren't going to blitz that much, but they never tell us the
The
truth.
coaches, they'll trick you every now and then.
Interesting, the Cowboys had springs out in the pass pattern in motion. Tony Dorsett went out into the flat to the left. No one was there to take Andrews. He had a clean shot at Hogaboom, who could not get that arm in motion.
So that means the quarterback has to read that blitz on a back out. He turned his back to him, didn't see him coming, Frank. So that's a mistake by Gary.
First down, goal to go. Mike Gooman, 44. Barry Redden in there now. Here comes Dickerson.
There goes Dickerson.
Into the end zone. The Rams capitalizing on the first turnover of the game. Good blitz by Andrews. Fumble recovery and run by Jack Youngblood. One play from scrimmage, and Dickerson gets into the end zone.
Let's take a look at him. He's running behind one of the bigger, stronger offensive lines in football. Is very rarely are there any penetration. That penetration came from the outside, and Dickerson with the quick feet and the, well, they call it a smell for the end zone, a nose for the end zone, and just dived right in there.
That was Michael Downs who came up on Dickerson, O.J., and Downs a good tackler, but it was almost an instinctive move you only see with great runners. Dickerson planted that left foot, drilled it to the inside, into the end zone.
Well, you can see that the Cowboys have been practicing all week. Turn Dickerson up. We don't want him to get outside, and that's 2 runs. They turned him up.
Lansford, Mike Lansford, drills it through the uprights, and the Rams have a 7-0 lead. One turnover. One play later, the Rams are in the end zone. They lead the Cowboys 7-0. We'll be right back in just a moment. Over. Harry Hogaboom hit hard by George Andrews. I don't think he ever saw him. Tried to get it out to the flat, but he never had the arm in motion. Mike Lansford to kick off. Gary Allen, number 31, is back there with Ron Fellows for the Cowboys. Allen hit 91 yards for the Cowboys a week ago against Houston in a kickoff return that was called back. But he is a dangerous threat. Lansford puts it up high. Here comes Fellows.
That's when the flag's go. I swear.
Flag is down, and Fellows is down at the 17-yard line.
You can count on it. Way to go, Gene.
Harry Dickerson set all those records down at your school, Don, and got himself in the record book a couple of times last year. Remind you, Thursday night we'll be back at the Meadowlands for the Steelers against the Jets. And then a week from tonight up in San Francisco, the Redskins against the San Francisco 49ers in a rematch of the NFC Championship game of a year ago, in which 49ers, quite frankly, could have won at the very end of that game. Two good ones coming your way in just a matter of 7 days. Following the assessment, the Cowboys have the ball near their own 7-yard line. Gary Hogaboom on the spot. That springs in motion. This is Dorsett.
Look out. That was close.
Dorsett almost popped that one for much more. He gets 8.
Really did.
Close to the 15-yard line. Upset there by Eric Harris.
Gain of 8 yards. Second and 2.
Look at the hole coming up the middle. This is a little quick fake to the outside. Good move on the inside there. Good block on Carl Eckert, 55. And Carl came back just at the last minute. Number 55 and tripped Tony up. There was a hole there, wasn't it?
2 years ago, we saw the same play against the Vikings, and he went 99 yards for a touchdown. A quick toss to Dorsett. And Dorsett up close to first down yardage. He may be short. Good hustling pursuit defense on the part of the Rams. Mel Owens sliding out there. Jack Youngblood trailing it out. And Jim Collins coming from across the field.
You have to give Tony Hill a lot of credit there. They normally don't ask those wide receivers to come out and crack back, and he came and put a real nice crackback block on Mel Owens. Enabled him to get outside.
Now, they ask him to do that a lot, but they just don't do that.
I don't know if I would have Tony Hill do it, because if this team lose Tony Hill, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well, that's a good point, because Drew Pearson is gone, and, of course, Butch Johnson is gone. And, they got a first down.
Tony squeezes it out.
Doug Donnelly's the guy that's they're counting on, O.J. He's got the speed, the white lightning on the outside, so if they can have some production out of him, that's going to really help a lot.
Yeah, but he's been a little injury prone.
He really has. I don't think he's caught a pass the whole preseason.
The first down is at the 17-yard line. Sun just starting to set out here in the west. Very warm evening, but the humidity not too high. The temperature between 80 and 85 degrees. Doug Donnelly, 83, top of your screen. There's Hogaboom. We'll try again. Has the time, checks off to Dorsett, and Dorsett down the sideline, taken out of bounds at the 19-yard line, 3 yards short of the first down, hit there by Mel Owens.
That was a nice job, in my opinion, of Hogaboom coming off to the third receiver. He was trying to get Springs coming back in a little delay, drag-in pattern. It was defensed pretty well, had a good drop. It looked to me by Mel Owens, the linebacker, so he just laid off to Tony Dorsett. You don't want to try to force that ball in there, although that's one of the reasons I'm told that Gary's playing, that he can drill it between the linebackers.
Third down, long 3 for the Cowboys. Second down, rather. Tony Hill now split to the left, Donnelly to the right, and Dorsett. He's hard to bring down. He finds the first down marker and steps out of bounds beyond it for another Cowboy first down. Mel Owens again defensively there for the Rams.
It's a good example of Tony's balance. He gets hit cleanly on the shoulder pads by 2 backs, but he gets his body at the right body lean, and he delivers the blow. A good back will always deliver the blow. Watch this. Bam, he delivered the blow. He bounced off the guy, always keeps his feet moving, and George Allen says it's best, I guess, when they said about Tony's size. They said it doesn't really matter how big or little you are if he can't catch you, you know. And, and Tony, if he can get some room, he'd be hard to catch.
28-yard line. First down, Cowboys are down 7-0. 10:29 remaining in the first quarter. Season opener for the Rams and the Cowboys. Hogaboom, play action to Dorsett. Man wide open. That's Cosby.
All right.
And Hogaboom found him quickly, fired it on a string, and Cosby gets into Ram territory near the 44-yard line before he's upset by Nolan Cromwell.
Expecting really big things with Cosby. He's the guy that kind of quietly moved in and is doing a terrific job, and they expect him to go a lot. Look, well, that was ball. Mel Owens was in there, number 58. That's blitzing the linebacker again. That ball was drilled in good shape. But Cosby's, we're going to hear a lot of him today.
Now, you see, he beat Carl Erkin, and Carl Erkin was probably concerned with that play-action fake because Tony almost broke one on him.
That's right.
That was Mel Owens who decked Hogaboom after he completed the pass. He'll learn to back out of there a little more quickly. On 1st and 10, play action again by Hogaboom. Gets the screen out to Dorsett. He has men in front of him.
Slide.
And a good defensive play by George Andrews.
It was. That, to me, O.J., was a slight hesitation on Tony's part that maybe he didn't need that time.
Yeah, well, you know what? He was looking for the guard to kick out the outside guy. When the guard went to hooking, it threw him off a little bit. I think he wanted to turn up immediately, and the guard sort of hooked him. Well, I'll always blame it on the other guy. You know what I mean? Those running backs said, I thought you were going to block him this way instead of that way.
Tony got 3, so it'll be 2nd down and 7. He could have got much more, but for a fine effort by Andrews, who already has caused one Cowboy fumble that led to the Rams touchdown. They lead 7-0 inside 10 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. 2nd down and 6.
Uh-oh.
And
he almost started at quarterback, as a matter of fact. The guy that just jumped off sides, the first announcement was his Paz Derek. So they decided to play him at left tackle. He's so big, he played it where he wants to.
They'll back them up as Danny White, who was bitterly disappointed with being set down, said as much. Said he did not agree with it, but said he will do whatever he can to help the Cowboys.
So I shot a Jim Schaffner there also, Frank, and this is something they're trying this year. They've tried it before and haven't stuck with it, but they're signaling the plays in rather than alternating. But they're still sending them in. That's Jim Schaffner right there.
2nd down now at about 12. The ball at the 46-yard line of the Rams. Dorsett. Another little opening that Tony kind of squirted through for a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, but it'll leave Gary Hogaboom in a passing situation, 3rd and about 7.
Doug Donnelly. Well, man, you don't see it, but Doug Donnelly was down blocking on Leroy Irvin.
Irvin got the best of that
He
one, though.
said, did you leave me alone, Donnelly?
Well, when you got great backs, you tell your receivers you got to block back downfield for them, and that's what Donnelly was trying to do.
That's right.
3rd down and 7. Cowboys receivers all over the field. The Rams in their prevent defense, and Hogaboom out of the shotgun. Hogaboom right into the hands of number 27, Gary Green, the former All-Pro from Kansas City that John Robinson needed so desperately that he gave up a 1st and a 5th-round draft pick. But that is not a credit so much to Gary Green as Gary Hogaboom hit him right in the hands.
He really did, and it appeared from up here that Cosby was open on the inside. We'll see if we get a better view of it out here. Gary's kind of zeroed in on him now. He didn't take his eyes off of him, and that's something that experience does come in. You lead that defense right over to the guy you're going to throw to. Look at Tony. Look at, way to go, Tony D.
Tony gets a chance to get even with some of these guys.
Right.
Rams get another turnover. They get good field position. They'll be inside the Cowboys' 45-yard line. They lead 7-0, 8:10 remaining in the first quarter. Gary Green, the left cornerback for the Rams. For 7 years, he worked that position for the Kansas City Chiefs. The last 3 times he was in the Pro Bowl. Has given the Rams an interception, a turnover that has brought the ball back to the Cowboys' 44-yard line. Not a well-thrown pass by Gary Hogaboom, who's had his problems here in the early going. On 1st and 10, Dickerson right up the middle behind Doug Smith, Dennis Hara, and Kent Hill. Gets a couple, and that's it. Randy White, Brunig, Dutton closing that off.
Well, we got a couple of interesting matchups up front. You got Jackie Slater going against Ed Tootal, and thus far Tootal has been getting the best of that. And of course, Randy White, he's been back in camp a week, and he's going against an All-Pro and Kent Hill, and that should be interesting as the game goes.
Randy White, of course, 54. Tootal Jones, number 72. And Randy White, keep in mind, has not had the workout, the training camp. It is a very warm night. It'll be interesting to see how long that Randy White can go. 2nd down and 8. Ball inside the 43-yard line. Cowboys showing blitz. Now they step out of it. Now they call it off. Ferragamo changing up at the line of scrimmage, but he leaves Walls in individual coverage against Ellard, and Ferragamo able to get the ball there. Short of a 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. Cowboys had the blitz on, and there is a flag down now. Procedure call, and Ferragamo was well, he was indecisive in making that change, and I think it caused some of his linemen to adjust their stance, and thus we're going to have the procedure call against the Rams.
Talking to Johnny, Coach Robinson, about Ferragamo this morning, he's been called.
5 yards. Still 2nd down.
See there? Right. He says, there's been a lot of quotes in the papers. The first one thing, Ferragamo kind of lives in his own little world out there. So Coach Robinson and I figured out what it was. He's one of your right side of the brain operators. Right. He works over on the right side of his brain. You know, he dreams a lot over there.
Well, right now he's going to be working on a 2nd down and 13 rather than a 3rd down and 4. Cowboys up there tight again against the Rams. Ferragamo dropping back. Checks off to Dickerson.
Yeah.
To the right guy.
That's right. Bob Brunig was out there.
Oh, what he does to an open field.
Brunig was about 5 steps late.
Not only was he 5 steps late, what you love to see in a back is he can see the whole field. He runs by Brunig. He does a little side stance on Anthony Dickerson, his namesake. They're not related, but they're both from the Texas area. I guess they played together at SMU one season.
Indeed, they did.
But the guy can do it all. He caught over 50 passes last year, which is almost unheard of when you talk about a back that is considered a home run hitter like he is.
He accounted for over 80% of his total offensive yardage. That is amazing.
19-yard pickup. First down, Rams. They lead 7-0. The ball inside the 28-yard line of the Cowboys.
I'm into statistics.
Ferragamo again, a lot of time, good protection as he had all last year. Tried to get the ball to the tight end, David Hill, who, of course, is in there. If you follow the Rams, you know that their leading receiver, Mike Barber, from a year ago, bad knee, surgery, he's out. Could be coming back sometime around October. There's Mike Lansford, preseason, 2 out of 4. Won his job back late last year after tearing up his knee a year ago. And, of course, he kicked that memorable 42-yarder against New Orleans to put the Rams in the playoffs on the final Sunday of last season. So he can make it. On 2nd and 10. Dickerson, big opening right side.
Look at this.
Look at him bounce off Dickerson. He'll have the first down. He spotted the first down marker, stepped inside it.
You don't like to see that, do you?
I love to see it.
Isn't that fun?
The kid can do it all. He can run over guys. Now watch him. He has an acceleration, sort of a draw play here. He sees the hole real well, zips through there, and here's what he can do. Not only can he fake you, but if you don't have any position on him, he'll just bump off your nice stiff arm. The guy has it all.
Watch Ron Fellows. Ron Fellows, pretty good tackler ordinarily. He comes up, and he's like not even there. Right there. That's Fellows.
But John Robinson, he knows how to create the atmosphere for great runners. He did it for Marcus Allen at USC, and he's really created a nice atmosphere for Eric here. We'll talk about that in a bit.
First down at the 17-yard line. 6:17 remaining in the first quarter. Ferragamo's back again. Looking into the end zone, and intended for number 80, Henry Ellard, incomplete. A good pass and a good lead. That could have been 6.
Well, I think what happened was Dickerson got a little tied up at the line of scrimmage, and when you practice a play, your timing is such you know when to let it go, and he let it go a little too soon. I guess he threw it right, but Dickerson got a little tied up. There was a little congestion there when he turned up at the line of scrimmage.
Ferragamo now 2 of 7 for 30 yards, but the big thing is they're not relying on Eric Dickerson as much as they did last year. Johnny Robinson told us as much this morning. He wanted to be able to put the ball deep downfield, whether they completed it or not. He wanted the opposition to regard the Rams as a deep passing team. He feels that will open things up for Eric Dickerson. On 2nd and 10, this is Dickerson. Dickerson in the arms of Randy White. Dickerson, nevertheless, stretches for a couple, and Tipper's flaring.
Well, Randy kind of pushed Dickerson. Randy pushed Dickerson's leg. Dickerson kicked him. Randy pushed him, and the one thing the Rams is not going to have happen is anybody mess with Eric Dickerson.
That's Jackie Slater, and you might recall early in the year, a year ago, he pushed Art Gastineau of the Jets and started off a rhubarb that almost emptied Shea Stadium.
Now watch here. Watch Dickerson if we stay with him. Dickerson will kick him right about now. Yeah, here we go, and he hits the leg, and a little slow motion in there.
Slater tried to push Randy White off Dickerson, and just a little shoving. Cooler heads prevailed, and it's 3rd down and 8. Ball resting close to the 15-yard line.
I want to be the first to say this is a big down. Look out.
Ferragamo, complete to Ellard.
Oh, good hit.
And Ellard is popped rather severely.
Oh, that's Dennis Thurman.
He got a little late flag there in the secondary. Came after the tackle.
That did come down late.
That could be a pick back there because there's a lot of crossing. Yep.
I think that might be it.
So happy. You see that so many times, and they say, hey, not me, that's my pass route. But basically what they're saying is one receiver comes in, tries to run his route in the direction of pick that defender off so he can't get over to cover the guy going to the outside.
Basically, just like a basketball pick. They're discussing it now as we look down from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. Our cameraman up there, Archie Griffin, tonight. Again, it's a spectacular night here in Southern California.
I thought that was going to be the replay, and I was going to get to see the pick from up there. I said, no way I can see the pick from up there.
We'll get the card here.
Here's Jim Tunney.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 84. Decline. 4th down.
That's George Farmer. We'll see if indeed it was a pick. There he is working against Everson Walls. Yeah, that's indeed what it is. I mean, he is screening Everson Walls so the Walls could not change off and pick up Ellard. And they picked it up. Now we have Mike Lansford on 4th down, an attempt at 31 yards. Nolan Cromwell, who's been known to do other things besides hold the football. He has run the ball, and he's passed the ball from this position. He will place it down, and Mike McDonald will do the snapping.
Right through the middle.
Lansford moves the Rams out on top, 10-0. Again, this drive began with a turnover. And the Rams lead the Cowboys 10-0, 5:25 remaining the first. The Cowboys down to the Rams 10-0. And one has to be wondering what's going through the mind of Gary Hogaboom. He turned it over in a fumble. He's turned it over in an interception. The Rams picked up 10 points out of it. And now his job to bring the Cowboys back. Mike Lansford to kick off. Gary Allen is deep along with Ron Fellows. The Cowboys would like to see Gary Allen handling the football. So the Rams kick it to Ron Fellows.
Almost. Yeah, he's still going. Good move.
Fellows had an opening. If he could have got through it, he would have been long gone. He was taken to the outside, however, but still gets to the 25-yard line. And Don, you took over from Eddie LeBaron some years back.
I did. The only thing I can say, the Cowboys have become a little bit more structured. And by that, I mean, Gary doesn't have a lot of options in there. Those plays are preset before they get in there. And I know him pretty well, and the kid's really confident. He knows he can throw the ball. So I would guess that what's going through his mind right now, he needs a hit. It's like, I better, not a home run, let me get a single. So it'll all work out for him. I don't think he's going to have any major problems right now.
First down and 10, the Cowboys at their own 25-yard line. Inside handoff, Ron Springs gets out of a little bit of trouble, finds a lot more out of the right side, and also a flag. Springs to the line of scrimmage, taken there by Carl Eckern.
Well, this Ram team is a tough team to run against. They were 6th in the NFL in defense against the run last year. They had to shore up that pass defense, and getting Gary Green has certainly helped that. It enables those linebackers to even play more aggressive on the run when you got a cornerback that can take one of your receivers out of the game. I don't know how Kansas City could lose a guy like that as we look at the coach.
For a 1st and 5th.
The options being discussed with the Cowboys, and they will take the mark off, and Jim Tunney will tell us about it.
Illegal block in the back, 10 yards, till 1st down.
Frank, this is what I think bothers Hogaboom more than anything, because this is not what you expect. You don't go out there with a 1st and 20 on your mind. And what he went out there to do was run their game plan. So the problem is he's now got to have some kind of support from everybody else around him.
Tell me which quarterback this would not bother.
Well, that's true, but you're talking about him out there for his first night. Maybe a little bit more for him because he hasn't been in that situation that many times.
First down and 20. The ball inside the 15-yard line following the assessment. Donnelly split to the right. That's Tony Hill. Top of your screen. That's Ron Springs in motion. Here comes Tony Dorsett, and he's taken down from behind. Good play, Jack Youngblood in his 14th year, and he's still the spirit of that defensive line.
They gave Jack a little bit more leeway than some of the other defensive linemen because of his experience. So he could kind of adjust his own charge or move on occasions. He doesn't line up exactly the same place all the time. That time he made a good move, guessed right, went inside and came back.
Cowboys on the move, but they are not moving in the right direction.
I think they have one major problem that they're doing. They're trying to do too much finesse stuff, reverses and pulling. They're going to have to put the helmets, tighten them up, and just go at the Rams here for a few plays. Maybe not right now.
Second down and 28. The Cowboys at their own 7-yard line.
If they don't do that well.
Hogaboom from the end zone. It's a middle screen, Dorsett.
Safe.
And he runs into a bunch of Rams led by Eckern and Collins, the two inside linebackers. He gets about 6 yards when he needed a bundle.
Gain of 6 yards.
When you're throwing the ball downfield and you're completing those intermediate passes and you're running for 6, 7, 8 yards, then you really have a lot of success with those reverses and all those cute plays. And Dallas, I don't think, has established any of those other plays yet to be trying to run so much cute stuff, especially against a good disciplined team like this.
Rams move into a 4-man front as opposed to their 3-4 defense. Doug Reed, the rookie from San Diego State, at defensive end in there now. Vince Newsom comes in to be the 5th back. 3rd down, 21. Hogaboom back again. Another screen. And it's Dorsett once again. Dorsett gets back to the original line of scrimmage, gives up the football. The Rams are saying they have it, and they do. Another turnover. It was Nolan Cromwell who put the hit on Dorsett. Cromwell with a good pop on Dorsett. The ball comes loose and picked up there by Eric Harris, who is playing for an injured Johnny Johnson, one of the other Rams that they know they're going to miss a Pro Bowler, but Eric Harris, following a hit by Cromwell, turns it over for the Rams once again.
Tony, when he first came in, kind of had a name for fumbling, and yet last year carried the ball or handled the ball 330-something times and only fumbled 5. So he's getting better, but he started off now with a fumble.
I can't help but harken back to our season opener with the Cowboys and the Redskins a year ago, when the Cowboys got themselves down by more than 20 points in the first half, and somehow they pulled it together to win that one 31-30. But they are digging themselves a big hole in this one. Dickerson. Power running inside the 20 for a gain of about 6 to the 18-yard line. And there is Eric Harris, who is filling that spot for Johnny Johnson. Actually, Nolan Cromwell was playing the strong safety when Johnson was hurt. Harris went to strong safety and Cromwell went back to free safety. And Tony Dorsett now being treated on the sidelines. They're looking at his left eye.
Well, smelling sauce there. He must have come down on the back of his head.
2nd down and 4. Ferragamo again with a lot of time.
Got him.
And this time in the end zone, bobbling the ball, however, that was the speedster, Ron Brown, gold medalist in 4x100 in the recently concluded Olympics. I think he was 4th doing the 100, wasn't he, O.J.?
Yes, he was 4th in the 100. He's maybe one of the 5-6 fastest humans in the world, and he had his guy beat. It was a zone defense, and he was wide open, and Ferragamo sort of led him a little too much. He almost made a nice catch out of it, though. He's a little concerned about keeping his feet in bounds and stop concentrating on the ball, but I don't think he could have caught it anyway.
Well, he was from Arizona State. He played a defensive back there for 3 years, only 1 year as a wide receiver. He has great athletic skill, and somewhere down the line, he could turn into one of the great ones. 3rd down and 4 now for the Rams. They work from the shotgun. They lead 10-0. Ferragamo, this one bobbled as big Ed Jones, who does that so consistently over the years, stuck the big hand out there, reached over a blocker, batted it away.
He did make a good move because Slater was on him pretty well, had him pushing to the outside, and by the last edge, just stuck that big paw out and caught Vince's arm. Well, they've had 2 big turnovers down there, and it looks as if they're only going to come away with 6 points on each of the last 2 turnovers, and that, if anything, is a plus for Dallas.
Lansford once again. He's hit from 31 yards out. This attempt from 36 yards out.
36-yard field goal.
Long count, and offsides would have given the Rams a 1st down. And Lansford is good from 36 yards out. It's been all the Rams here in the opening moments. The Cowboys causing their own headaches. A fumble by Gary Hogaboom in the opening moments, trying to pass the football. An interception by Hogaboom that was picked off by Gary Green. A fumble by Dorsett. And the Rams have piled up 13 points. Johnny Robinson, great years, 7 years at USC. Turned out a national championship, an undefeated team. And this is the young man who is going to try to climb out of the hole that the Cowboys have dug.
Don, could they have a problem all week long? We've been hearing about Hogaboom and White. It seems to me that maybe the rest of the guys on the team have forgotten that, hey, they got a tough game. The emphasis wasn't on the Rams as much as it was on the quarterback controversy.
Well, they're looking for grabbing for straws down there right now. So that was one of them to jump on for a while. They've all got to play better. They haven't been running the ball well last 3 games of last season. They haven't run that well in preseason.
Lansford kicks away. Gary Allen is deep along with Ron Fellows, and we'll watch Ron Fellows once again. Fellows stays on his feet, struggles out over the 15-yard line where it'll be 1st down, Dallas. I'll remind you, a big day here on ABC this Saturday. 4:30 Eastern Time. It'll be ABC Sports Beat, the Emmy Award-winning Sports Beat Show with Howard Cosell, followed by Wide World of Sports at 5 o'clock Eastern. Ray Boom Boom Mancini faces Kenny Bogner in a dramatic return to the ring following the loss of his lightweight title. That'll be live from New Orleans. And the World Cycling Championship from Barcelona, Spain. Cyclists from the United States, the Soviet Union, and East Germany had an international field of the world's best. And at 8 o'clock Eastern, live from Birmingham, Alabama, it'll be a beauty. Boston College versus Alabama. Doug Flutie, of course, leading Boston College against Ray Perkins, Alabama Crimson Tide, the kickoff of our CFA college football coverage. Coming up this Saturday on ABC. On first down and 10, Hogaboom is back. Dumps it off to Dorsett. Down the sideline, wisely steps out of bounds before the hit. Short of the first down, near the 25-yard line.
Boom Boom versus Bang Bang. That should be a good one this weekend.
And one of them is going to go thump, thump.
Oh, I don't think it's going to last that long.
You're going to see it live.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, they're not going to
bang.
go 15 rounds, that's for sure.
A market inside the 24-yard line, so it'll be second down and about 2. Again, a capacity crowd on hand tonight. The Rams gave them a lot of thrills last year, headed, of course, by Eric Dickerson as they went to the NFC Conference Championship, where they were blown out by the Washington Redskins. Ron Springs into the wingback spot. There's Hogaboom. Looks for a receiver, and he finds Cosby. And did he have possession? There's a scramble for it.
I'm telling you, they have done.
He did have possession. That ball,
he took a step or two.
fortunately for the Dallas Cowboys, went out of bounds. And the Rams unable to gain possession of it, but they will lose about 3 yards. From the reverse angle, you get a good look at the hit provided by Eric Harris on Cosby. There comes Harris. He hit the ball with his fist. Out it comes. And if the Rams could have got it, they would have been in great shape once again, and they almost did.
Well, the Rams haven't been fooled by anything. They really have this team well scouted. Marv Gu told me today they didn't want him to score early because they felt Landry gets impatient and would start throwing the bomb, and they wanted him to do that. Third down and 6. Springs now to the far outside. Tony Hill's in the slot.
They're zoning on both sides. Right there it is.
And the ball is complete. Gets it out to Tony Hill. He has the first down. He's out over the 30-yard line. And this is what the Cowboys would like to be doing with consistency.
Well,
putting Hill and Springs down there in short turn-ins, splitting the zone of the Rams, and giving Gary Hogaboom a chance to calm down.
Well, they haven't been trying that. They've been trying a lot of trick stuff, and they haven't been running that many basic plays, have they, Don?
Well, they really haven't, but they're getting something going. We're going to talk about the offensive line in a moment.
On first down, Ron Springs over the right side. He gains a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 8. Again, it is a beautiful night. We saw so many of them in our recently concluded Olympic coverage. Just flying out here brought back a lot of the thrills and excitement that O.J. and I shared, along with the rest of our ABC staff. And, of course, with the millions here at home and the billions around the world.
I was one of those.
Springs got a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Dorsett, the single setback. Hogaboom back, trying to get it deep. That's Donnelly. The speedster from Ohio State. They're marking it as a completion at the 25-yard line. The crowd is saying no. He was in the arms of Leroy Irvin, who was right with him, but that was a well-thrown ball to Doug Donnelly, who has a lot of speed.
I think that was his first catch, if I'm not mistaken, of the preseason. He's been hurt, as O.J. mentioned earlier in the game. But Leroy's got him right there. O.J. it's a foot race, and Donnelly's fast.
It's decent coverage, but as impressive as the throw was, the catch is equally as impressive. Look at that. That's a beautiful catch over the wrong shoulder.
He had it.
They say the ground cannot cause a fumble, and that's the case there. That's why it wasn't considered a fumble.
Right.
Cowboys making their first move of the evening. They're close to the 25-yard line of the Rams. They'll have to hurry to get this off before the quarter expires, and they do not. The Rams, on the strength of 3 turnovers, lead the Cowboys 10-0. But the Cowboys have 13-0, but the Cowboys are threatening. Frank Gifford along with Don Meredith and O.J. Simpson looking on as the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams kick off their 1984 season. And it's not going well for the Cowboys. They trail 13-0. There is score by quarter. They have not been a first quarter scoring team, these Dallas Cowboys. Their opponents, however, have done well. The Cowboys have been, however, explosive in the second, and they have good field position to kick off this second period. They are inside the 26-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. 3 turnovers have plagued the Cowboys thus far. That's Donnelly up to the top of your screen. Ron Springs will be moving all around, number 20, and Dorsett is nailed right at the line of scrimmage with all that movement. Greg Meisner didn't even see it. He made the stop. Let's take a look at the numbers. It's been all passing for the Dallas Cowboys. Hogaboom has completed just about everything, including one to Gary Green. The Rams have taken the turnovers and capitalized on each one. 2 field goals and a touchdown. Second down and a long 10. Dorsett lost just a little bit on that last play. Donnelly up at the top of the screen. Hogaboom.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Complete to Cosby, and Cosby is down inside the 5-yard line.
Now, that is an example of this fine young arm that we've been hearing about. But as we were talking, this one is thrown right about the only spot it can be. We'll see this side of it. It's zipped right in there. If you'll check, there's some blue jerseys pretty close in there. Threw over one, in front of one, and behind one. Good throw. Cosby's going to be the guy I think is going to be a real key to whatever offense they have this year, because they're not going to be able to double the 2 outside receivers. He's caught 4 passes tonight.
And he works well down in close, too, because he is a battler for the ball. The Cowboys now with a first down goal to go near the 5-yard line of the Rams. Dorsett, they tried a little
look at that.
And he stripped for the ball.
No.
Stripped for the ball, and the Rams have it.
Oh, that is unreal.
Dorsett stripped for the ball as he spun to the outside. 4th turnover, negating what appeared to be a great opportunity for the Cowboys to get on the scoreboard. Cromwell, I believe, came up with it.
Well, let me tell you, in the playoff game,
Carl Eckern put the hit on Dorsett right at the line of scrimmage. Jack Youngblood down there also. Ball comes loose.
Right there. Oh, that's too bad, Tony.
well, it happens to her back when he's trying to that extra effort. Tony made a great spin out of there. He could have gotten in the end zone, but he's running without the ball, and you're looking at a lonely Tony Dorsett right there. We'll be back in a minute to see if he can make amends.
I guess you can't fault somebody for extra effort. Tony Dorsett, however, is slight, sent into the middle of that pile. Hit right there, O.J. Spins out.
That was Youngblood that hit him first.
And that's George Andrews that comes and pulls the ball out. But Tony has a patented move that only Tony does. When he gets at the point of contact, he's able to spin, and it worked for him a lot. It would have worked for him then, but unfortunately, he ran without the ball.
And it was Nolan Cromwell who just saw the ball on the turf, everyone ignoring it. He gets the turnover, the 4th of the night. And there is Nolan Cromwell, great all-pro.
At 2 positions, free safety and strong
Switched
safety.
last year to strong safety, and there's a Pro Bowler there, as he had been 3 other times at free safety. Rams first down from their own 3-yard line. Dickerson. Dickerson collides there with Ron Fellows, trying to get to the outside, but he picks up about 5 yards. He does it so effortlessly.
Yeah, but he's upset with himself then because he had Ron Fellows one-on-one just about. Unfortunately, he was running away from the pursuit inside, and he was hoping Fellows would go inside and he'd shoot outside on him. Now, watch him here. He may have should have tried to jump upfield on him. See, he gave him a little inside move. Fellows didn't fall for it, and he was a little off balance trying to get outside there.
Dickerson, 29 yards thus far on 7 attempts. And Tony, of course, can't help but reflect back on what cost the Cowboys almost a sure score. Ferragamo wide open, and he fires it out to the little one, Drew Hill. Drew Hill has first down yardage, but a flag is down at the 20-yard line. Remind you of a game played earlier today. As referee Jim Tunney indicates the offense against the Los Angeles Rams. It was Seattle 33-0 over Cleveland, and perhaps more important, Kurt Warner, we understand, will undergo arthroscopic surgery on his knee tomorrow. We'll have highlights of that action and other action from around the league at halftime from Jim Lampley in New York.
Offense, number 84. Half the distance of the goal line. Still second down.
George Farmer of the Rams
You know,
offensive pass interference.
I'll tell you something, Frank. George Former earlier, he got that screening penalty, and I don't think he was really screening. I think he's having trouble getting rid of the bump at the line of scrimmage now. They traded Preston Denard because he couldn't get rid of the man bumping him. I think George Former is having a little problem getting rid of the bump at the line of scrimmage.
Penalty, half the distance to the goal. The Rams have a second down and 9 at their own 3-yard line. Dickerson, left side, closing it off. John Dutton coming from defensive left tackle. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Dutton made the stop.
Linebacker Mel Owens, we are told, has some sore ribs they are treating. The shoulder pads are gone. We'll probably not see him tonight. In the wings, Danny White, who in 4 years after replacing Roger Staubach is the 2nd-rated quarterback in the history of the NFL, led the Cowboys to 3 NFC championships. But apparently, Don, they just won't do it down there.
Well, they won an awful lot. I mean, you look at Danny's record, it really is terrific. I don't think you'll see him for a long time unless Hogeboom gets hurt. I don't think Tom would start pulling him in and out.
And we have timeout. It's called by the Los Angeles Rams. Either they have taken a little too much time or Ferragamo was not happy with the personnel he found in the huddle. In any event, we'll be back. And it all came about following turnovers. Dickerson from 2 yards in. That, of course, following a Jack Youngblood recovery of a fumble that was set off when George Andrews sacked Gary Hogeboom, and the 2 field goals by Mike Lansford. 12 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. The Rams are faced with a 3rd down and 9. The ball near their own 4-yard line. Ferragamo has talked it over with staff on the sidelines. He keeps the single setback. Eric Dickerson directly behind him. 2 wide receivers split up to the top of your screen. And Ferragamo will put it in the air. Throws a dart underneath, and the dart is complete.
Maybe
and
first.
It goes to Henry Ellard. He's close to a 1st down.
I think he's got it.
Ferragamo had deep receivers. He had a little pressure. He threw underneath to Ellard, and Ellard very close. That could be a big break for the Rams. And the indication is, without a measurement, the Rams will pick up the 1st down. Baseball coming your way. Minnesota over Kansas City. That's in the 5th inning. California and Cleveland are getting it on. They're in the 8th inning with Cleveland leading 6-5. Some more American League action. 5-2. Seattle over Texas in the 4th inning, and a final. Boston over Milwaukee, 8-5. The Angels and the Yankees had their own little get-together out here in Anaheim Stadium last night. Might have read about it. They had a little extracurricular activity. 1st down and 10. Ferragamo fires out to Farmer, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Checking out the National League for you. There it is.
How about them Cubs?
And New York loses one they can ill afford to lose. San Diego over Los Angeles. They're in the 4th inning. 6th inning play between Houston and Atlanta. And a final, San Francisco over Cincinnati, 4-3. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Rams. On top, 13-0. The ball inside their own 14-yard line. Vince Ferragamo in his 7th year with the Rams. He's known his own quarterback controversy here. Flag is down. Ferragamo fires one, almost intercepted. It could have been quite easily intended for David Hill, and it was Mike Hagman who was right in front of it, but the flag is down. And as you might suspect, the way things are going, it'll work against the Rams.
Ferragamo's 7th year, you mentioned, Frank, but this is only his 2nd time to open a season as a starter.
That's true. I might point out that 42 you see in all the Rams helmets.
81 offense lined up in the zone, offside, decline.
Was the intended receiver, David Hill, who was offside. But that 42 all the Rams are wearing on their helmets is in memory of Kirk Collins, their cornerback of a year ago, who went in for a minor injury and they detected cancer, and a few months later, a young man at the age of 25 was dead because of cancer. And all of the Ram players in his memory are wearing a 42 on their helmet. 3rd down and 10. From the shotgun. Ferragamo gets it underneath. This is Grant.
Well, that's going to help that statistic that you saw a minute ago, their inability to convert these third downs. They're doing a pretty good job on it here tonight.
Looked like to me that he's going to, let's see if let's watch Ed Jones, 72, come back in here. Got a blitz, Scott coming up the middle. Ed Jones almost knocked the ball down at the line of scrimmage. Grant made a good recovery to come back into the middle. As Everson trying to get down here, boy. Whoa.
But the Rams have converted on two third downs. This action began back at their own 3-yard line. Ferragamo now 5 of 14, 57 yards, but he hasn't hurt the Rams. And that was a key completion he had there to Otis Grant. On first down, Eric Dickerson.
Good move.
Wow, what strength and acceleration. Look at this. So much of it on his own. Close to midfield before Dexter Clinkscale holds on and rides him down near the 48-yard line.
That was 5 Cowboys getting upfield, 15 yards down the field. So that means somebody either knocked him down or
Let's
Eric
take a look at it on this sweep here. One thing every great back must have is the ability to cut back, and he was able to cut back on that one because he saw Bob Unick all the way. He saw no one had picked him up. He was able to cut back on him, the middle backer, and he ran over a few backs, and look at one of the great ones there.
And that is the key to the Cowboys defense. You can't have the middle linebacker overrunning that, and Brunig did. Dickerson gets a breather. Barry Redden is in, the third-year man out of Richmond, and a good runner in his own right. This is Redden out in the flat, and he takes his eyes off the ball before he can tuck it away. So it'll be second down and 10 for the Rams, who still have the Cowboys shut out. They lead 13-0 in the second quarter with 9:27 remaining in the half. Dickerson comes back into the game. He now has 49 yards on 9 carries and 1 touchdown.
And he's doing a good job. This Ram offensive line is doing a good job, unlike the Cowboys offensive line for Dorsett. One thing you know, if linemen are tackling the back, that means your offensive linemen are not doing the job. Linebackers should, and defensive backs should be tackling back.
Second down and 10. Play action at Ferragamo, and hangs one up that Clinkscale will intercept. Dexter Clinkscale picks it off, and the Cowboys get a turnover. Clinkscale back to the 40-yard line. Henry Ellard was knocked off. He was the intended deep receiver, and Ferragamo tried to lead him. Ellard collided with a Cowboy, and Clinkscale was all there alone.
You know, let's take another look. I thought it was just a mix-up with a pattern somewhere, Frank. I didn't see Ellard get knocked off because he sure airs it out.
I think Ferragamo was colorblind there because Clinkscale was the only one running upfield, and he probably thought it was his guy.
Well, he did run a good route. There's no question about that.
And he certainly was open.
That's right.
Clinkscale gets the turnover for the Cowboys. They'll have the football near their own 40-yard line when we come back to Anaheim. Back in Anaheim, the Cowboys have the football. Good field position following the Dexter Clinkscale interception near their own 40-yard line. Larry Hogeboom, who's had his problems in the early going, is in good field position now.
Interesting formation coming up here.
And that almost picked off. Reggie Doss jumping up and down. He was looking for the end zone right in his hands, intended for Dossett on a little circle, but Doss almost picked it off.
Think you heard footsteps, Don?
No, I think he just wasn't paying attention. He was trying. He was just trying to lay the thing over there. Doss came in from the outside. I don't think he saw him, but
he hasn't caught too many passes.
No, not even too good in the tip drill.
Second down and 10. Hogeboom once again. A lot of time. Dorsett. And Dorsett hit at the line of scrimmage. He sprawls forward for a gain of a yard and a half in the arms of Carl Eckern.
That was a little panic you see kind of setting in there. And it could have been caused because he's trying to get that ball off very quickly. Nobody was open, and he didn't have a very deep drop. You feel all the linemen around you, and it caused you to get a little bit more nervous. He was trying to get rid of that thing. Couldn't find anybody open.
3rd down and 8.
Take a little bit deeper drop. That's what this formation does. It already gets him back there. That's the main thing about a shotgun.
Dorsett has 6 receptions, but only 38 yards. Hogaboom, strong arms it. Fires a shot downfield that's caught there by Doug Donnelly, who is hit immediately by Eric Harris. Good concentration again by Donnelly, and keep in mind, Donnelly's in there, along with Tony Hill, missing from the Cowboys, along with a host of other players, are Drew Pearson and Butch Johnson. As we look at Donnelly, the former record-setting wide receiver for Ohio State, good concentration there.
What this will help him do also is set up what he likes to do best, and that's to go deep. If you can get that real fast receiver to come inside and catch a ball or two, that cornerback can't drop off of you so far.
I mentioned Johnson being gone, Pearson being gone. Also, the big tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, has retired. A lot of changes in these Cowboys. On 1st and 10. Hogaboom, under pressure, fires to the end zone. Looking there for Tony Hill. Gary Green stride for stride, and Hogaboom would have had to have been absolute perfection, as Tony Hill was covered beautifully by Gary Green.
Sometimes you can fall in love with your own arm. If you see, here he was trying to drill that thing in there. Now, if you can do it, it ain't bragging. But another way to get it to that receiver is to lay it out in front of him. And I've said this many times, too. Tony Hill can adjust to a ball as well as anybody I've ever seen downfield. So if he had been able to lead it a little bit more inside, I think Tony could have made that adjustment.
We got a 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 41-yard line of the Rams. 7:28 remaining in the half. The Rams on top, 13-0.
Here
comes the blitz, and Hogaboom reads it quickly, goes to Ron Springs. There, however, is a pickup of only a couple of yards as tremendous pressure applied on Hogaboom, and Gary Green, of course, playing Springs very tight, knowing he had the help from the pressure of the blitz. Hey, Gary Green is going to make a difference for this Rams team. He already has tonight with the interception that led to a field goal. Great coverage on Tony Hill a few moments ago, one of the most difficult wide receivers in the league to cover, and he was stride for stride with it. 3rd down and 7. Cowboys at the 38-yard line of the Rams. From the shotgun, Hogaboom. Blitz again, Hogaboom hit again, but again he gets the ball off. This time is caught and bounces free, but they will have blown that dead. Tony Hill, the receiver, an 18-yard pickup, and again, Hogaboom, a lot of poise on that, Don.
That's a good check right there, because he did see the blitz coming, and we were talking about Coach Robinson saying bravery. He kept talking about bravery, but look, there's nobody blocking George Andrews, the linebacker, and Hogaboom could certainly see that, and he stayed in there in good shape, threw the ball. That's a nice move for Gary.
For Tony Hill, his 300th career reception.
He's chasing a couple of pretty good ones.
On 1st and 10, Hogaboom back again. Great catch by Cosby and the Cowboys with no flags down or on the scoreboard. And Gary Hogaboom, who dug a little bit of a hole in the first quarter, is coming out of it. 2 great shots, one for the first down to Tony Hill the play before, and that was a perfect strike to Doug Cosby.
The way you've said it means so much, because the play before we saw him get hit very hard. He comes right back. That ball can't be led anywhere. That ball had to be drilled, and it was. Right there, Cosby didn't break stride. The ball is up high, and he caught it. Good pass play.
Raphael Septian with Gary Hogaboom, the holder for the conversion. So as many as the problems the Cowboys have had, they have had 4 turnovers. They have shortened the Rams' lead to 13-7, and Doug Cosby, who is rapidly approaching all-pro status, is the man that made the catch of a great shot fired by Gary Hogaboom. It is just starting to darken here in Southern California from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. You can see across this vast city. We pan down to Anaheim Stadium, and there is the Columbia with cameraman Archie Griffin aboard, and the Cowboys are set to kick off. Raphael Septian to put it in play. Barry Redden is deep for the Rams. And Redden was in the end zone. He was told to stay in there. I don't know whether he did or didn't.
Safety. He came across. He touched it.
Did they say he came across? He had his foot on the line.
I think he touched the line.
It was very close, very redden. It was very indecisive, and one of the Rams screamed at him, stay in the end zone. It was a high kick by Septien.
Yeah, it's not going to be a safety.
Well, that's Grumman. Mike Grumman's telling him to stay in there. I don't think I agree with that. If a back feels he's got the fill-in and he wants to come out of there, hey, your job is to turn around and block somebody and not tell him to stay there.
Problem is, if the rest of your blockers have heard somebody yelling at him to stay in the end zone, they're going to be relieved of their duties.
Well, why wouldn't that be a safety? If he did, maybe he didn't break the old
official
plane.
right on the goal line.
I guess that's it.
He was looking right at the foot. The Rams, 1st and 10, the ball at their own 20-yard line. Dickerson, left side. A little bit of an opening that's closed off quickly.
The guy that's got to stop that is Bob Brunig from the middle linebacker. The 4-3, particularly the way Coach Landry has coached it for so many years, is that the defensive line hit those gaps. They try to protect the offense, the middle linebacker. Don't anybody come out and block it. And he's the one who's got to close it off.
Cowboys scoring drive, you saw. That was followed by a turnover. Clinkscale intercepting Ferragamo.
The Cowboys are going to have to be real happy with their defense because they've held the Rams. Rams only have 13 points, and they're still in this game. And these Rams have had every break an offense can possibly have.
Dickerson got 4. It's 2nd down and 6. Rams at their own 24. Ferragamo saw the blitz. Nevertheless, he fired as quickly as he could, and he was really hammered.
That was timed well. That was a safety coming in there. Safety blitz. Was that Michael Downs? Who was that kid there? Couldn't see for sure.
He usually is the man. Number 26, Michael Downs.
He's the guy. He timed it just right.
No, Don, you were talking about Bob Brunig. Let me tell you, every great back in the league, every back in the league would rather run against a 4-3 because you can see the linebackers. Running backs run against the linebackers, and you can see them. You're looking at the middle linebacker and the outside back. On the 30, there are too many linebackers to keep track of. 4 of them instead of 3.
Dickerson got 4. It's 3rd down and 6. From the shotgun. Ferragamo has the time, trying to get it out to Jim McDonald, or rather Otis Grant. And Otis Grant covered very well. He was looking, Otis Grant was, for pass interference.
Is that Victor Scott? He's one of the rookies that made the team. He comes in on a special on the passing situations, but he was a draft choice for the Cowboys.
2nd round pick out of Colorado, and the Cowboys use those 7 backs on defense. Quick look at Gary Allen. John Misko to punt for the Rams. Allen back at about his own 40-yard line, and Misko hangs another one way up high. Lots of hang time. Not much Gary Allen could do. Hustling down there for the Rams again was Ivory Sully. For the Cowboys, got it back close to their own 30-yard line. That was a 48-yard punt by Misko, but the hang time on it was tremendous.
And the old flag goes up.
I'm looking for a flag. I don't see one.
Yeah, he threw it, but he picked it up again. I don't know.
Well, the other official picked it up. One threw it, and the other one picked it up.
All right.
Cowboys personal foul. They'll be backed up. 4:41 now remaining in the 1st quarter. Tom Landry curious as to what transpired.
That's
state of most coaches, I guess.
50. Half the distance to goal line. Time is out.
Jeff Rohr for the Cowboys, the guilty Cowboy. They move it back half the distance to the goal line. The Cowboys will have a 1st and 10 near their 15. Frank Gifford along with O.J. Simpson and Don Meredith watching the Cowboys and the Rams. Rams on top 13-7 here in the 2nd quarter. 4:41 remaining. A reminder, we'll have some halftime highlights coming your way and a report on that game today. Seattle and Cleveland coming your way from Jim Lampley in New York. So stick around. Right now, Dorsett on 1st down and 10. Tries the right side and gets maybe a yard out of it. Good hustling Ram defense. Strong against the run. Not necessarily so against the pass last year was the Ram defense. They were rated 22nd in the NFL. But tough against the run. They were 6th in the NFL against the rush.
Well, they'll improve against the pass with when you get a guy like Gary Green, a guy that can play one-on-one against your best receiver. You can stick him out there and you can run combinations with the other guys, and that's really going to help that pass defense.
And if they can get Johnny Johnson back, who broke his ankle in the early going of the preseason, they will have a solid secondary to go with a good, strong defensive line. Hogaboom, that's a lateral, but he gets it complete to Dorsett. And Dorsett does his thing down the sidelines. First down yardage, going down in the arms of Gary Green and Carl Eckern, but not until Dorsett is out close to the 35-yard line.
Well, the guy that made that play go was Jim Cooper, the tackle. He got out there, the defensive back was coming up, and he got out there fast enough. He didn't get there to hit the guy, but he got there fast enough to have the guy vary his angle at Dorsett, and Dorsett was able to get inside of him and get upfield for some yardage.
Interesting game. A year ago, we watched the Cowboys in Washington. At halftime, the Cowboys were down 23-3. They came back to win that one 31-30. The 17th victory in 18 years of their season openers. Hogaboom over the middle, Cosby, and Cosby is there for a gain of about 6 out over the 40-yard line in the arms of Carl Eckern of the Rams.
The funny thing about Dallas, they're running some pretty basic stuff now. Early in the game, we commented that they were doing a lot of fancy stuff, but maybe they were running all that fancy stuff earlier in the game to get the Rams' attention, to get them to looking for tricks so that they can go back to these basic things, Don.
Whatever they're doing, I know they had thought about it, and they do that sometimes. They'll try to throw something basic or try to throw something tricky up early.
Timmy Newsome is in there, a good receiver out of the backfield, number 30. He's provided a lot of big plays for Dallas in the late going of games, and at halftime, as we watched Donnelly make the reception, step out of bounds. He should have first down yardage, but more than that, he killed the clock with 2:24 remaining in the half.
That ball didn't take long getting there, I can tell you that.
Now, he does throw a hummer, doesn't he? Of course, the controversy has raged for over a year now between Danny White and Gary Hogaboom. They even went so far as to take a poll of the players. Players saying they preferred Gary Hogaboom. Well, apparently that happened. They polled the fans.
I bet they didn't sign their ballot, though.
First down and 10. Cowboys are near their own 44-yard line. Hogaboom back. Fires another shot. Complete to Donnelly once again, right in front of Leroy Irvin. And so many of these passes he's completed now, he's had to get it in there absolutely perfect, or it would not be a completion.
It's so important to have the speed because they haven't really pressed him yet. And he can turn back right in there. And I tell you, Leroy was pretty close. He wasn't really wide open, was he?
And a 2-minute warning for Doug Donnelly, who did not have a reception in preseason play, injured. Most of it has been a factor for the Rams here in the second quarter. 5 years old, so is the Dallas Cowboys franchise. He was born the year it was founded. He is now the starting quarterback under some controversial conditions. Not a bad night if you look at it that way, and take away a interception by Gary Green and a fumble that provided a Ram touchdown.
Bad night. That would be a great game. We're not quite at that time.
First down and 10, the Cowboys. 2 minutes remaining in the half. They trail 13-7. The Cowboys have 3 timeouts. They're at the Rams' 37-yard line.
Yeah.
Dorsett. And Dorsett stops the clock at the 31-yard line after a gain of about 7.
Well, even though they're throwing quick passes, what's killing the Rams right now is their lack of pass rush. They have to blitz someone on every play, and the blitzer has been getting picked up. And,
that plagued them last year, too, O.J. They did not have the pass rush. Their best man is Jack Youngblood. He really is not all that big. And he's been around a while. The Rams had 33 sacks a year ago, and the league leaders were right up there, 57, 58, 59.
You can count on Dorsett to do something before this game's over after those 2 fumbles.
Second down and 4. Ball at the 31-yard line. Whoop, the old flea flicker backfires, and down goes Hogaboom.
He did something.
Jim Collins, who was on the blitz, and what a bad time to have that play called, because they were not even looking at Dorsett. They were blitzing Hogaboom on the pass. Dorsett went into the line, turned around, and got the ball back to Hogaboom about the time Collins arrived.
I would be the last guy to be able to be qualified to criticize Landry, but why would you run this play, Don?
I don't really have any idea. As a matter of fact, they've been running the ball and moving the ball so well down there. And number one, it looked like he turned right. He pitched it to Tony first. So you're pitching to the guy who's fumbled twice.
Timeout called by Gary Hogaboom. He'll talk it over with Tom Landry. We'll be back after this message from the National Football League. 1:27 remaining in the half. The Dallas Cowboys picked a very inopportune time to come with a flea flicker because Collins on the blitz. Jim Collins was not paying any attention to Dorsett. He flipped it to Hogaboom, and the loss is all the way back to the Cowboys' own 47-yard line. It's 3rd down and 25. Hogaboom attracts the crowd. He'll find more of them now. Hogaboom uses a lot of time getting back to the Rams' 42-yard line, where he will still be far away from what I would think Septien's range would be.
Well,
already got the punter out there. You're right.
I was going to say, he didn't look that nifty, even though he was in a running offense at Central Michigan. He ran a lot of option stuff there. Didn't look that nifty on that one.
It would be about a 58-yard field goal attempt, so Tom Landry has sent Jim Miller out to try and pin the Rams down deep in their own territory. Leroy Irvin is back there with Henry Ellard.
You didn't think he looked good because you've been looking at Dickerson and Dorsett. Now, compared to those guys, he doesn't look good.
Looked like a reverse angle slow-mo, didn't
but
he?
He picked an opportune time to run, to showcase his running ability. Why not? Let's kill the time. We'll back it up.
Take the timeout. I mean, take the penalty for delay a game because the Rams will have the football back, and the Cowboys would like to have them with the football with as little amount of time as necessary. And besides, if they back it up 5 yards, it's not going to affect the punt of Jim Miller by much.
Well,
in fact, the Rams might even decline the penalty.
I don't know if the Rams will have a return on, but they have some excellent men up front at blocking the punt.
Yardage refused. Still 4th down.
Refused the penalty, but if you look at a guy, not only is Gary Green a great cornerback, he has 9 career kick blocks in his career, and they may be thinking about that right now.
Rams declined the penalty, so Jim Miller will be punting away, but the seconds have ticked down to 28 remaining in the half. Miller looks for the left corner, and he did not get much of it. And they'll mark it near the 11-yard line with 22 seconds remaining for the Rams. They have a 13-7 lead. The Rams have 2 timeouts. They should not get very fancy. I'll remind you, Thursday night we'll be back at the Meadowlands. The Jets, with a win over Indianapolis yesterday, go against the Steelers. And then a week from tonight, that should be a beauty. The Redskins, trying to rebound from a thrashing by Miami, go against the San Francisco 49ers, Joe Montana. And the boys up there with a victory over Detroit. And that, of course, a rematch of the NFC Championship game of a year ago.
Well, that was a great game yesterday if you saw it. That San Francisco team, when they have to score, they can move the ball down the field. Got Dwight Clark back. A lot of people felt if he was playing last year, they would have gone to the Super Bowl.
Gary Hogaboom, 254 yards, 1 touchdown. Of course, the interception that led to a Rams score, but Cowboys have only had a couple of 400-yard passing games in their 25-year history, and in the booth is the man who provided both of them, Don Meredith.
How about that?
I was just thinking I wasn't a quarterback, and I didn't play for Dallas.
Had to be me.
Flag is down. Ferragamo dropping on the ball.
I'll tell you one thing, John Robinson is not going to be happy with his offense. Even though they have 13 points, they were almost gifts to them from the defense, and they haven't really been able to do much on offense today.
Jim Tunney has sorted it out.
No end on the left sideline scrimmage. Decline. 2nd down.
You must have an end. That seems rather obvious. Illegal formation.
Well, they probably had an in on the field, but the guy wasn't lined up on the line of scrimmage. One of those little technicalities.
Yeah, I saw an end of the line.
Cowboys with a remote possibility of getting it back with an opportunity to do something. Ferragamo drops again, and we might see the Cowboys use another timeout.
Yeah.
No, they'll let it tick down. A reminder, highlights from yesterday's action and, of course, today's play between Seattle and Cleveland that took place up in Seattle. We'll have that for you. Jim Lampley reporting out of New York. So both teams go into the locker room for the halftime. Rams on top of the Dallas Cowboys, 13-7. Stay with us. They're in front of another, and the Cowboys got themselves on track. Sellout crowd here at Anaheim Stadium, 69,000 plus. And the Rams are coming back out onto the field. They'll be kicking off to the Dallas Cowboys. Those are the stats beginning with the first quarter, and you will see the change to halftime. Dallas totally dominant in offensive yardage, mostly because of Gary Hogeboom. Despite the fumble, the interception, both of them leading the scores at 254 yards passing. Ferragamo was 5 of 17 for 57 yards. And we have been told just now that Tony Hill, the man the Cowboys were counting so heavily upon this year with the retirement of Butch Johnson and Drew Pearson, has a separated shoulder. We'll attempt to confirm that, but that is the report. In the rushing department, Dorsett has carried the ball 10 times for 13 yards. Dickerson has 53 yards on the same number of attempts, 10. You had a look at Gary Allen, number 31, Ron Fellows, number 27, Mike Lansford, set to kick off and get the second half underway for the Rams. Ron Fellows once again as the Rams continue to kick it away from Gary Allen. Fellows stacked up inside the 15 near the 12-yard line. So the Cowboys will begin deep in their own territory, and it will be Gary Hogeboom. If you had just joined us late, Gary Hogeboom, in a surprise early in the week, was announced as the Cowboys starting quarterback. Danny White going to the bench after 3 seasons out of 4 in which he led the Cowboys to the NFC Championship game. Very unprecedented as far as Tom Landry is concerned. He does not like changes, but I guess he felt he had to make it, and Gary Hogeboom was a little erratic in the early going. He is on target now, however, and has thrown the ball well. This is Dorsett over the right side, and Dorsett over the 15, close to the 16-yard line, where it will be 2nd down and 7. We're going to pause 5 seconds now and allow our stations to identify themselves. Cowboys have a 2nd down and 7. The ball just outside of their own 15-yard line. Kirk Phillips has come in for an injured Tony Hill. Kirk Phillips, first-year man out of Tulsa, was a free agent on the injured reserve a year ago. Phillips is flanked to the right. There he is, number 81, bottom of your screen. Meanwhile, Doug Donnelly, who had a big first half, up at the top of your screen. 2nd down and 7. Dorsett once again finds a little opening, collides there with Collins, and down he goes, short of the first down. Out close to the 19-yard line, and you wondered, Don, you've been in that Cowboy locker room with Landry. I have as a player, but what do you think he might have said?
What he usually says is he goes right straight to that blackboard. He doesn't. He's got his. It's all business. He doesn't go around and give anybody any pep talks. He'll see something, or he get information from some of the coaches from up here that they think they can do differently, or they go back. He used to always go to the defense and try to correct something like that. Very businesslike.
The defense, of course, played superb football for Dallas. They were in deep trouble because of the turnovers. Hogeboom had one on target out to Donnelly, but Donnelly could not hold on.
Oh, good effort by Donnelly. He's going to have to play some ball for him this year, because I thought the one person that they couldn't afford to lose would have been Tony Hill on offense. I thought he was the one cinch receiver that they had, the 3rd down receiver, and with him out there, they could be in a lot of trouble.
There is Henry Ellard. The report, in case you missed it, was that Tony Hill has a separated shoulder. Now, that could be 6 to 8 weeks. That could mean surgery. We will not speculate. We'll try and get a further report. Here's Jim Miller on 4th down for Dallas. Ellard has positioned himself for the Rams at about his own 35-yard line. Miller hangs it up. Ellard is there. Slips by one Cowboy and moves into Cowboy territory at the 46-yard line. So the Rams open the second half, their first offensive possession, in good field position. About at 35 yards, and a flag is down now at the line of scrimmage. And we're going to have an illegal receiver downfield on the part of the Cowboys. In favor of the Rams, I decline that one and take possession.
Anytime you can get the ball in the opponent's territory, you should take it.
You bet.
Ineligible man downfield. Number 52, declined. First down.
So if you weren't with us earlier, this was the action we saw in the first quarter. Dickerson following a turnover in from 2 yards out, and 2 other turnovers resulted in Ram field goal attempts of 31 and 36 yards. Cowboys got their own turnover, an interception by Clinkscale, and they culminated that drive with a 19-yard touchdown pass. Hogaboom to Cosby. Rams leading 13-7. These teams have met so many times in meaningful games over the years. 7 times they've met in the playoffs alone, more than any other 2 teams have.
Look at him come.
Dickerson inside the 45-yard line, a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And of course, this man, over 1,800 yards as a rookie after tearing up the Southwest Conference down at SMU.
He's one of the best I've ever seen, but he's going to have a tough time running on this Dallas team on first down. They pride themselves in not giving up many yards on first downs. They like to keep you under 5 yards, so the pressure will be on you on 2nd down to be able to throw for 8 or 10 yards.
Mike Gooman, they call him the U-back, spit up to the top of your screen. He's number 44. The single setback is Dickerson. Safety blitz, and Dickerson, if he gets to the outside, there won't be much in front of him.
Well, I'll tell you,
That's what happens on the blitz, and Dickerson pops it down inside the 20. Linebackers were coming, the safety was coming, and Dickerson had to be one man, which he did, and he got inside the 20-yard line.
There's a lot of little things that a running back will do, and he'll do it at about 10 yards downfield. As you can see, he's got the speed to outrun him, but he's got the ability to slow down and step inside of that tackler and accelerate again to get the yards, and a lot of backs would have been tackled 10 yards before then.
Ronald once again bouncing off Dickerson. He's been bouncing off him all night.
Fellas actually went to the left. Well, their left, and the Rams ran around him. So that blitz really took him out of the action there.
Yeah, a lot of backs couldn't have gotten around that.
1st down and 10, 18-yard line. Otis Grant, split to the right for the Rams. That's Ellard in motion. Ferragamo is back. He has the time. Wide open in the end zone and intercepted, but
was that Walls?
effort.
That was Walls. Everson Walls.
Everson Walls dove in front of the intended receiver, and Clinkscale comes up with the football for the Cowboys. His 2nd interception of the night.
Looked like a cinch touch, didn't it? I mean, he was wide open down there.
Ferragamo was a little late with that ball. I think he threw it a little behind him,
Let's see if we can pick it up. He had pretty good protection.
He'd have snapped it off right there. It would have been 6, but Walls had a chance to recover. And that's just what he did. He deflected the ball right into the hands of Dexter Clinkscale. Clinkscale's 2nd interception.
That's an assist.
The Cowboys dodge a bullet, and they get the football back, following the touchback at their own 20-yard line. There is Clinkscale. After settling down in the first half, he showed you certainly one of the reasons that Tom Landry decided that he will be the starting quarterback for the Cowboys, and that is a real touch and a real rifle arm. Much stronger than that of Danny White. Of course, far less experienced than Danny White. On 1st and 10, the quick toss, Tony Dorsett.
Good move.
Had a block, and then he got a tremendous hit by Nolan Cromwell, taken out of bounds after a gain of about 5 yards.
Well, that's one of the reasons Nolan's an all-pro. As we look at Dexter Clinkscale there.
Yeah, he's turned into quite a football player since coming up as a free agent about 4 years ago. He is in on a lot of big plays. He broke up a Giants game a year ago when it was very close with a 60-yard interception and a touchdown return.
You think they're not that concerned, are they? I like that.
They've marked the progress at Dorsett at the 22-yard line, so make it 2nd down and 7. Hogaboom back once again. And open, and it's Donnelly, and I'll tell you, he put that ball on a rope on a square out. The 2 Ram defenders were in the area where they could have recovered with a lesser arm.
Eric Harris happened to be in a position to pick that thing off and go all the way, and he didn't even move.
Hey, he and Gary Green thought they had him covered.
That's right, he wasn't.
They had stopped, looked back at the quarterback, said, this guy's covered. Where's he going to throw now?
Zot.
Gary Hogaboom, they got him as a 5th-round draft pick 5 years ago out of Central Michigan. Danny Reeves, now coaching Denver, of course, went up to scout him. He was playing in kind of a run-oriented offense. Said, we've got a good one. They got him cheap.
He was the 9th quarterback selected that year.
On 1st down, Dorsett, big opening over on the left side, and Dorsett, who can explode with the best of them, picks up a quick 9 yards out to the 44-yard line.
You got to like Ron Springs. They lined him up at the U-back, and he came inside and blocked the down lineman. As you see, Tony goes right behind Ron Springs, blocks him big. Meisner, he's blocking a guy who's 280 pounds.
He at least got in his way. I wouldn't call it a big block.
Well, he got enough to let Tony get by.
Dorsett now with 30 yards of the night needs 13 more yards to become the 7th leading rusher of all time in the NFL, replacing Joe Perry.
Closing in on your boy here.
Yeah, they always do. 2nd down and 1. Springs. He'll have the first down at the 45-yard line. That's where the progress, I'm sure, will be marked.
Well, they told Ron they had him block the big nose man. They say, okay, you can carry the ball now. You can get the first down. A little glory for the sacrifice for the play before.
Yeah, you hit one. Let's try a shot at Jim Collins. He is linebacker. He won't mess with you too hard.
First down, Dallas.
Well, we were talking about what Landry said to the team at halftime. I wonder what Robinson said. He had to be very unhappy with the Rams offense. They had every break in the game, and they were 6 points ahead going into the halftime.
At the 45-yard line, the Cowboys with the first and 10. 11:05 remaining in the third quarter. Hogaboom play action, hides the ball. Strong arms, another shot. And it's Donnelly once again. And I'll tell you,
nice move there.
Threw that ball back over his shoulder, rolling out. And that was all arm.
Frankie also, he saw the pressure coming from the left. And rather than just freeze there, this is the natural instinct. Much like what they would attribute to Roger Staubach days. He sees somebody coming, he's going to move a little bit. Get you in trouble if you don't have an arm like that, though.
Oh, they got to keep this guy healthy. He must feel a little deja vu thinking of Art Schlichter. That's the way Art used to throw him up in Ohio State, rather.
First down, Dallas, inside the 43-yard line of the Rams. Hogaboom gets a screen to Dorsett. Dorsett goes down at the 40-yard line, and Jim Collins reacted very quickly to get back into that play and hold Dorsett to a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Vince Ferragamo, who led the Rams after his own quarterback controversy back in '79, replaced Pat Hayden, took them to the Super Bowl. They lost big in score to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they were much closer. 1980, he had a tremendous year with the Rams, went up to Montreal, sort of disappeared, had a terrible season, and of course came back in '82. Second down and 8 for the Cowboys. Hogaboom again with a lot of time, and this time he gets it into Springs, who doesn't hold on. He would have been short of the first down at the 35. It'll be third down now and 8. Collins again there defensively. Hogaboom now 24 of 30, 281 yards. The Dallas record for completions is 30. Hogaboom 631 completions. Danny White holds that, and Hogaboom is now 7 away from that.
But it doesn't make you feel too good when a guy just replaces you and first time out breaks the record. He hasn't done it yet, but it looks like he's well on his way to do it.
And he still is trailing 13-7 here in the third quarter with 9:36 remaining to be played. Hogaboom from the shotgun. Again, Hogaboom showing the composure. He knew he was going to get hit, and he was able to unload to Doug Cosby, but he took a tremendous shot.
You know, it sounds so weird, but it really is true. When you get hit like he just got hit there a couple of times, he's earlier in the game too, but that's what he knows he belongs. When you can do that, he gets up. That's what you call getting that first thing out of the way. I don't think he's nearly as nervous now as he was when, of course, he started this ball game. But that stayed in there pretty doggone good. Followed through as much as he could. He
knew it was a blitz. He knew that Cosby would have single coverage because you do not get the double coverage with the blitz. He took his time, took the shot, and made the completion for the first down at the 30-yard line. The youngster, the 25-year-old on the spot tonight, is starting to turn into something quite sensational. This is Newsom, big, powerful runner coming back from the wingback spot. Gets about 4 yards, close to the 25-yard line of the Rams. It'll be second down and 6.
Well, when we're watching this game, we get a good idea of what John Robinson was telling us today about their problems. They don't have that mean guy on their defensive line that can get to the quarterback, that Lawrence Taylor or that Howie Long type of guy. You know, John said today, the guy that when he gets off the plane, you got to hide the women and children. They don't have that kind of guy, and they're blitzing, and they're getting burnt by blitzing on virtually every pass play.
Second down and 6. Dorsett opening on the right side, and Dorsett struggling for extra yardage down close to the 20. He should be just a little short of the first down. He's in the arms of Mike Wiltshire.
Interesting formation they ran that time. Timmy Newsom, as you mentioned, is a big, strong guy. Maybe the strongest non-lineman that Dallas has, and he stayed in that rover position and was a good lead block on that play.
Third down, less than a yard. Little trivia for you, Don.
I like trivia.
5 players on the Dallas entire team are from Texas universities and colleges. On the Rams, they have 10 from California schools.
All right, California.
4 from SC.
Give me a break.
That's bowling ahead is Springs. He adds the first down yardage. And one has to only wonder what is going through the mind of this man, Danny White, who was set down, did not take it easily, but very gracefully earlier in the week.
Well, the bottom line is the stats are pretty, but they're still down by 6 points.
13-7. 7:08 remaining in the third quarter. But Gary Hogeboom certainly doing just about everything you could ask of a young quarterback. As somebody mentioned yesterday, how did it feel to be America's team's quarterback? He said, huh? 12th play of the drive.
That's picking it out in there.
Outside. Dorsett once again.
I know what Tony told him in the huddle. Please, let's run left. Backs hate to run on this infield, on this dirt. Your cleats can't dig in. You're like you're on skates. And a lot of times you play down here, it's not natural. You find guys make mental mistakes. A guy will jump off sides or something, but I know they like to get off of this infield and maybe run to their left so they can get on the hash marks that's totally on the grass.
And I think this is what Tom Landry wanted to see throughout that entire first half. This is a sustained drive with the pass woven into the running game. Hogeboom looks both ways and has it batted down. Reggie Goss, I think. George Andrews providing pressure. That'll bring 3rd down and 6 to the Cowboys.
Well, Gary sure looks comfortable. Even on that play, he looked like he was real comfortable back there looking around. He felt real relaxed.
He did.
Even though the pass was thrown down, he's feeling at home right now.
Cowboys are usually pretty good when they get down inside the 20. They're going to put some points up there.
One of the best in the league a year ago, getting it in once they get down there. Their problem last year was getting it down there, particularly against Washington and later against San Francisco. And Gary Hogeboom not satisfied with the play that was indicated from the bench. Or perhaps his personnel, he calls timeout. He'll move over and talk it over with this man, Tom Landry. Used 14 plays, nearly 6.5 minutes. 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Dallas Cowboys on the move. Doug Donnelly up at the top of your screen. Youngster from Ohio State, replacing Drew Pearson. He's had a tremendous game thus far. And on 3rd and 6, we'll watch Hogeboom from the shotgun. Again, holding it to the last possible moment. One of the Dallas Cowboy receivers knocked off. There's Kirk Phillips, the youngster out of Tulsa.
Well, what happened is he was trying to stop on this infield, and once again, when you run on this dirt, it's like being on skates, and the guy literally slipped down. His feet went out from under him, and he couldn't come back to the ball.
One of the most accurate kickers in the history of the NFL is Rafael Septian. And he is on and certainly well within his range, but he will be kicking. Well, let's see whether he decides to kick off the natural turf or off the hard pan of the baseball diamond. It'll be a 31-yard attempt. Hogeboom gets it down. Septian has it on its way, and the Cowboys have gone to within 3 points. But they did have to settle for the 3. We'll be back in just a moment. Back in Anaheim, the first sustained drive of the night. The Dallas Cowboys using up almost 7 minutes, moving the length of the field, but having to settle for 3. They have drawn to within 3 points of the Rams. 13-10, and Rafael Septian will kick off. Barry Redden is deep for the Rams. Redden this time from the 2-yard line. No indecision. And Redden very strong. Not tall in stature, but he powers out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. A return of 25 yards. Vince Ferragamo set to move into the offensive huddle. We'll be back. Thank you. That's Barry Redden being taken off the field. That was a delay in the action on the field. We'll pick up a report. Barry Redden, who would be a starter for a lot of football teams. #1 draft pick a couple of years ago after a great career at Richmond. They don't see it too well here. There's number 30. On the return. Got hit hard in the back, and then he goes down. And keep in mind that he's going down under a tremendous amount of weight, losing the ball in the process. The Rams, first down and 10, 26-yard line. They're holding on to a 13-10 lead over the Cowboys. 5:51 remaining in the third quarter.
Look at that one as a start.
Dickerson to the 30-yard line. A gain of about 4. It'll be second down and 6. And I want to remind you, Wide World of Sports this Saturday, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Boxing, it'll be Ray Boom Boom Mancini against Kenny Bang Bang Bogner, and that'll be live from New Orleans. Boom Boom, of course, facing Kenny Bogner in a dramatic return to the ring following the loss of his lightweight title. And you'll see it live from New Orleans, Louisiana. Wide World of Sports coming your way Saturday.
Well, they're working on his foot. That's a lot better than working on the knee. So hopefully we'll see him back in the next few weeks. If not,
and we will give you a report as soon as we get one from the locker room on Barry Redden. Second down, they've marked it near the 30-yard line, so it's second down and 7. Ferragamo backfires underneath the coverage, gets to the tight end, David Hill, and David Hill held short of the first down at about the 36 by Bob Brunig.
You know, and seeing Lyndon Evans in the booth, I had an opportunity to work with her a number of years ago on a horrible film called The Klansman. It was unforgettable, but the late, great Richard Burton was in it, and he made it unforgettable. And
I think I saw that film.
I had an opportunity. Cosell was up there doing one of his shows, and he and Richard Burton got into a word thing, and it was incredible to listen to. The coach, Cosell, won hands down. But it was incredible hearing those two guys speak the King's language the way it should be spoken.
That much for the first down. Short was David Hill. That was one of those films, I think, O.J., they released in a shotgun of about 8,000 studios or theaters around the world at once, playing for a week, I believe.
I think I'm the only one that got paid. But up there, Terry Jasper, one of our directors, got the acting bug, and he became an actor after that. He was up there directing Howard's show.
Interesting graph, the passing yardage. Hogaboom and Vince Ferragamo. Third down, you saw how much for the Rams. A man like Dickerson, you go with a quarterback sneak. Not a bad move. You move over across All-Pro Dennis Hara on the right side and pick up the first down. So the Rams have struggled offensively against a very stubborn Dallas defense. They are noted for their strength against the run, and they are performing well against the pass tonight.
Well, you're just looking at John Robinson. He's a good friend of John Madden's, and he told us he wants to emulate that Raider passing game. He wants to throw the ball downfield. They haven't been successful at it today, and I'm surprised they haven't thrown any bombs.
Here comes one right now.
37-yard line, first down and 10. Ferragamo gets it on the quarterback keeper. Here comes the blitz, and here comes Dickerson, tripped up by Randy White.
Now, they started the game throwing the ball on first down. I thought that would be the trend for this Ram team, and they haven't done it lately.
I thought they would right then. I'm serious. I thought there would be a bomb the way they were set out there with the wide receivers.
Dickerson sprawls for a couple. It'll be second down and 8. The game has really slowed down in intensity. We have not seen the big plays we anticipated with the likes of Tony Hill, who, by the way, has left the game with a separated shoulder. Eric Dickerson.
There's some intensity.
Good news for Barry Redden, only a dislocated toe rather than an ankle or a knee. On second and 8, Ferragamo faces the blitz.
Not bad.
And he fires it out to Gooman, where Michael Downs is there to collect Gooman short of the first down. It'll be about 3rd and 5.
Another situation of looking a blitzing defender right in the eye, and he got rid of it. The only guy he had a chance to complete it to.
Hey, we're seeing an unusual amount of blitzing on the part of both teams.
I'm going to move that toe. That's a John Wayne line. You're talking about the movie.
Oh, was that John Wayne? I thought that was Linda Evans.
No, I'm going to move that toe.
Oh, that is John Wayne.
3rd down and 5. The Rams at their own 42-yard line. Cowboys not showing blitz, but playing very tight. Ferragamo lays one up, and just off the fingertips of the speedster Ellard, it looked like he had no shot to get it.
Well,
And meanwhile, a flag has been dropped.
Carl Howard was the defender back there, and he had old Carl about a couple of steps that time.
That was on 3rd and 5, and the preliminary indication was a penalty against the Rams.
Well, you know, Vince Ferragamo is one of the better long ball throwers that we get to do.
Holding 82. Decline. 4th down.
Otis Grant, the tight end, holding, decline because the Cowboys will get the football back. John Misko is on. Gary Allen has dropped. There he is, positioned at about the 20-yard line of Dallas. Nisco thus far has kept Allen fairly well in check with high booming punts with tremendous hang time.
Come on, Gary.
This time a kind of an end-over-end job that Allen nevertheless will not be able to return. Good coverage by the Rams, and they'll kill the ball down close to the 25-yard line. 2:11 remaining in the third quarter. The score remains the Rams 13, Dallas 10. We'll be back in a moment. Meredith did not play.
Well, I was tired that night.
That had to be Eddie LeBaron, I presume.
That was Eddie.
The Cowboys' only regular season win over the Rams here in California. They have been in the playoffs against each other 7 times. The last time, of course, last year when the Rams prevailed 24 to 17. The Rams have won 4 of those playoffs. Cowboys have won 3. First down and 10 for the Cowboys with Gary Hogaboom going all the way. Tony Dorsett.
That's that Dorsett
Slipped
spin.
away from Eric Harris, and that is that spin from which Tony Dorsett lost the football earlier in the game down about the 2-yard line.
But he's the only back in football that can really do that. I mean, he has perfected it to where it is a part of his arsenal of moves, where right at the point of contact, he just spins around. He just spins right out of it. It's almost like a wrestler's move.
What are the hazards, do you think, besides fumbling? I mean, is that from a you don't?
Well, you can fumble on it. You can get hit by somebody you don't see either. Also.
Single set back again, and now they line up in the eye with Ron Springs, number 20, now adjusting to the wing back on the left. Quick movement on the part of the Rams, and the flags are flying. This is Springs, and down goes Springs. Defensive effort there by Eric Harris, but flags were down. It could be that the Rams are offside.
It didn't appear as if the Rams went into that zone, and one of the linemen may have moved on Dallas, but we'll see in a second.
There's Jim Tunney.
Yeah.
Illegal movement against the Rams.
No, against Dallas.
Or rather, Dallas.
I think a Ram really moved first, but he didn't come into that zone.
All right, of course, we're kicking off our 15th season tonight, and we'll be kicking off our collegiate schedule for you. And it should be a beauty. Live, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Saturday, September the 8th from Birmingham, Alabama. And it'll be Boston College against Alabama. The Boston College Eagles, led, of course, by their All-American quarterback, Doug Flutie, who was 3rd in the Heisman balloting a year ago. They'll be down there to take on Ray Perkins and his Crimson Tide. And you'll see it right here live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, September the 8th. 3rd down and 11. And the Ram fans are giving us the wave around this jam-packed stadium. Hogaboom steps back into the pocket. A beautiful shot. So we're going to have some kind of pass interference, whether it's offense or defense. The flag went down as a Cowboy and a Ram collided. Doug Cosby on the reception.
Said so many times, that to me is the most difficult pass to throw. There's such little margin, so little margin of error. Oh, it's against the Ram.
Here's Jim Tunney.
Holding, defense, decline, advance accepted, first down.
So Gary Hogaboom will get the reception to Doug Cosby. Cosby's 8th of the night. That's the best effort of this young man. And he'll have other great nights because he has turned into a remarkable receiver. He has 100 yards. Of course, taking over 2 years ago from Billy Joe Dupree, and he's turned into one of the premier tight ends in the league. First down and 10, 39-yard line. Cowboys moving once again. Hogaboom with a lot of time. Out to Newsom.
They had him covered.
We're all over him. Leroy Irvin was right with Newsom. Hogaboom wanted to go downfield, and finally, with all the time he had, finally had to check it off. And there will be a gain of only a couple.
I think it's on plays like that the players really love a Hogaboom, because when you're sitting there, you know those defensive backs are zeroing in on you. He throws the ball late like that. It doesn't take the ball long to get there.
Don't give me a medicine ball, they keep saying. That thing said.
We're going to have to scramble around and get a nickname for Hogaboom, because even Tom Landry can't get it out. He always calls him Hogan Boom or Hogan Bloom or Klaus Derrick or whatever.
I like Hogan Bloom. I think that one's good.
That's the time remaining here in the third quarter. Hogaboom now 28 of 36, 307 yards, 1 touchdown and the 1 interception. Second down and 7. Again, a lot of time trying to get it deep to Kirk Phillips, the youngster out of Tulsa. He was well covered, but you saw the strength of Hogaboom's arm. He put that in the air for some 50 yards. Just snapped it off.
Well, actually, he had beaten his man. He had beaten Sully, but you got an all-pro back there named Nolan Cromwell, and Nolan got over there in time to break the play up.
He also had Doug Cosby open over on the outside. That's one of those situations where you go back and you say, I'm going to really air this one out, and you don't check everybody out. That might have been his first receiver, but Cosby was really open.
Well, you said he's in love with his arm, and I guess he wanted the fans to be in love with that arm.
I say you
Sure,
can.
everybody in Dallas are already.
Yeah, you can fall in love with the arm. If I had his arm, I might be in love with it too.
Third down 7, 4-man front for the Rams. They're looking for the pass rush. And they, frankly, are not getting it.
That's a flag right there.
Kirk Phillips, you'll see the flag there.
Yeah, he had him wrapped up.
Irvin is complaining bitterly.
Well, Irvin did the wrong thing there because I think the initial contact was by Phillips, but Irvin kept his hands on him. Phillips ran right into him, then Irvin kept his hands on him. And that's where I think he got penalized.
Pass interference, defense, number 47, first down.
I'll tell you something, that was another great shot. Hogaboom almost caught this ball for Kirk Phillips. He put it right on the numbers. Phillips so stunned to see it there.
Yeah,
and you saw the obvious holding on the part of Irvin. So the Cowboys hurt themselves in the first quarter. They got themselves deep in a hole, and now the Rams are hurting themselves with penalties. First down and 10. Cowboys at the 46-yard line of the Rams, and Tony Dorsett around the left side. Taken out of bounds, but very close to another Cowboy first down.
Well, Tony's getting the feeling now because those linebackers aren't coming up. You know, they got to get back there and help these cornerbacks out, and Tony is bouncing outside and doing the things that he has to do. Look at this.
Unofficially, O.J., this man right here has just replaced Joe Perry as the 7th leading rusher in the history of the NFL.
How about that?
Joe the Jet. I grew up watching him and Hugh McElhaney. He's our stadium.
A 1,600-yard season for Tony Dorsett this year, and he's done that once before in his career with Dallas. We put him over the 10,000-yard mark. Those are the remaining seconds here in the third quarter. Second down and inches. Dorsett, he has the first down, and he coughs the ball up. It's loose.
How they do it.
Andrews has it.
3 fumbles in a night.
It happens.
Look at Hogaboom going over and saying he was down, he was down.
Tony Dorsett pops it up, and the Rams dodge another bullet as the third quarter expires. And this man, George Andrews, is playing a great football game tonight for the Rams.
This is a good little run by Tony. Tony's got the feeling, and I think he's trying to make up for those earlier fumbles. And often when you do that, you get in more trouble. And he certainly wasn't down on the ground. His momentum may have stopped, but he wasn't on the ground.
And there is Andrews. He has been everywhere tonight. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. That is the end of the third quarter. The score of the Rams 13, Dallas 10. And we'll return for the fourth quarter after this from our local stations. The season opener for the Rams and the Dallas Cowboys has not been a cosmetic beauty. We have had 7 turnovers. The Cowboys have turned it over 5 times now. 3 fumbles by Dorsett. But depends on your perspective. It also has been a very hard-hitting game. Some of the great players in the game being held in check tonight. First down and 10 for the Rams following the Dorsett fumble. We begin the fourth quarter. Ferragamo working underneath to Dickerson, and Dickerson tripped up by Mike Hagman. Gain of maybe a yard. It'll be second down and 9.
Well, I think the Rams are going to have to start throwing to David Hill, their tight end. I've noticed on a few plays he's been open, and on that play he could have hooked up in the middle. He would have been open. He kept running. He was still open, and the Rams are trying to throw underneath the defense. I'm surprised at that because John Robinson indicated to us that he was going to put the ball in the air and throw it deep. Second down, long 8. They have marked it at the 27-yard line. All 23 points scored tonight with the Rams on top. 13-10 have resulted from turnovers. Flag is down as Ed Jones slips off the back of Eric Dickerson, and Dickerson ambles up over the 30, close to the 36-yard line for a gain of 5, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. And the Rams will be backed up once again. Tony Hill, we told you earlier that the report was that he had a separated shoulder. How severe?
I don't know. I would think if it was very severe, he would not be back out on the playing field.
Also, Frank, there's been some discussion that because Drew Pearson has retired, Billy Joe Dupree's gone, that, hey, they're going to go out and get some more receivers. They traded, of course, Butch Johnson for Mike Renfro, who we haven't seen much of tonight. But this might force them into another move. Where do we go find a receiver this late in the game?
Mike Renfro, of course, has been battling his own nagging injuries. They have had a good performance out of Donnelly tonight, who had not seen much action prior to this season. Second down, 13. Ferragamo fires one right into the arms of Hickman. Hickman almost had to intercept that in self-defense.
Ferragamo is having a horrible night. He's missed 3 guys open for touchdowns and thrown a couple of interceptions, and both times he looked like he threw it right to the defender. This case, he looks like he's throwing it directly to the defender. He's trying to go to the tight end.
It was deflected just a little bit.
He threw it to the wrong side of his receiver.
See if we can't pick up a little bit of a deflection there. Could have been Ed Jones. He usually gets a paw on something.
I think he has the receivers mixed up now.
I think he was expecting, you were calling for the tight end, but it looked to me that he was expecting David maybe to bounce to the outside.
Cowboys first down and 10. They trail by 3. They have the ball near the Rams' 27-yard line. Hogaboom back once again, and he gets the blitz.
Beautiful.
Steps away from it. A good move. Hogaboom throwing into a crowd in the end zone, but well out of reach of either the defenders or his receivers. Mike Hickman has been a starter since replacing Thomas Henderson back in 1979. Quiet, but very exact.
He would, number one, you got two receivers that are right there at the same place, so somebody did something wrong.
Well, there's that infield also. Donnelly just fell on the dirt. Football is not meant to be played on dirt. Grass, mud, but not dirt.
Okay.
Second down and 10. The ball inside the Rams' 27-yard line. Newsom split out to the left. I'll remind you again, Newsom, a fine receiver. Hogaboom had to throw that one away as he is nailed back near midfield, and an official went down with him, Jack Youngblood, all over Hogaboom. He could not hold it any longer, and he very wisely dumped it off. Take a look at the halftime stats. Those were the numbers going into the third quarter. Let's take a look at what happened during the third quarter. And what we have had happen are a lot of turnovers. But Dallas pulling up a lot of yardage, 368 to 148. But nevertheless, they trail by 3 points.
65 yards passing by the Rams is the most glaring thing that jumps out.
That doesn't even help their running game. That doesn't loosen them up at all.
Third down and 10. From the eye, both backs kept in. The blitz was on. They picked up. Flag is down, and we could get a holding call against Dallas. Anytime the quarterback on a blitz has to hold that ball that long, that's usually your call. Those linemen can only sustain that block for so long, and then they go to the grabs.
Well, what the Rams are doing, we were to call.
Holding, 61, requiring fourth down.
Cooper over on the right side, but I imagine they would have detected it with 2 or 3 of the Cowboys after holding the ball that long.
No, Landry's not too happy there.
And we are going to see Rafael Septian, and I can tell you that is just about the extent of his distance. Septian has a professional career best of 53 yards. Septian, who actually started his career with the Los Angeles Rams back in '77, has gone to the Cowboys and first he turned into one of the great kickers of all time. Hogaboom will put it down. It'll be a 52-yard attempt. That's right on the edge of his distance. It got there.
That
it
was just the
did
edge.
crawl over the crossbar. That was it, too. And the great thing about this young man, he did not try to stretch it beyond his own capability. He just hung it barely over the crossbar to knot up this game. Columbia, you can see the configuration of the baseball park here at Anaheim, where the Yankees and California Angels got it on last night in more ways than just baseball. Some fisticuffs erupting in that. Cowboys, by the way, are not wearing their 25th anniversary uniforms because, quite frankly, this play, they say, is hard to get out of the uniform, so they didn't want to wear their new ones. Septien gets it to Drew Hill. And the speedster out over the 20 to the 21-yard line. A return of 18 yards. All 26 points scored in this game have resulted from turnovers. Not one of your more efficiently played games. We're going to take a look at the scoring summary for you. Dickerson got it underway. That, of course, after a turnover. Both field goals for the Rams are after turnovers. And then in the second quarter, Cosby, 19-yard touchdown pass from Hogaboom. That after a turnover. Septien, of course, 31-yard effort. And just a few moments ago, it was Septien again from 52 yards out. That has been the action in the game in which Gary Hogaboom fumbled early trying to get a pass off against a blitz. But the youngster, to his credit, has battled back, and he's having a tremendous night. And in replacement of Danny White. First down and 10, the Rams at their own 21-yard line. Dickerson left side. Banging into Anthony Dickerson and John Dutton. But nevertheless, Dickerson will get about 6 yards out to the 28-yard line.
Raphael is a terrific athlete. We talked about it before, but great soccer, handball player, racquetball player. He's done 3 movies in Mexico. He's about 40 commercials he's done down there. He's big favorite in Mexico.
They're paying him in dollars or pesos.
Well, I didn't ask him that.
Dickerson now 90 yards on the night on 15 tough attempts. Second down and 4. Ferragamo looks it over. Dickerson again. He has the first down and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. In the fourth quarter with 12:48 remaining, and we're tied at 13.
Well, I know what John Robinson is thinking about. He's going to his #1 guy, Eric Dickerson. Over the years at USC, he'd go student body left, student body right, and I guess that's what he's thinking about now. He says he's gotten his offensive linemen in the frame of mind that they got to beat up people, so this is tough time.
He's quite a guy, John Robinson. He really is. Personal in every way. Really likes his football players. He kept using that word you used earlier, Don. Brave.
Brave.
I want a player that's brave.
Likes to hit.
Rams with the first and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Ferragamo gets away from Dutton, but then down he goes. And it is Big Ed Jones. But it was the pressure of John Dutton that got the sack.
At that time, the Cowboy defensive secondary had his boys pretty well covered down there. He only had 2 of them really out. So he was trying to go deep that time. That was the old long ball call. They had something going there, though, on the runs, and they go back to one time to throw deep, and they lose about 10.
And now Ferragamo has got himself in a second down and about 18. He's having a tough night, and you better believe that this is one of the downs that historically the Cowboys like to come with the blitz. They'll bring everybody on second and long. Whether or not they do, we'll see, but this is one where Tom Landry always likes to come with the blitz. And they're right up there peaking right now, but they drop out of it. Dickerson left side, hit by Randy White first.
Randy White. You know, Randy came back. We haven't said much about it, but he spent a lot of time fishing. And Tom Landry, we thought, has a difficulty on occasions pronouncing words properly. He said the reason why Randy came back, he got tired of attacking fish.
Yeah, he could buy his own lake now because he was holding out for something like $1.2 million. His agent, of course, Howard Schlecher. They finally came to terms last week with an estimation of about $700,000 a year. And Dickerson has recorded another 100-yard night, but I can tell you they have been tough yards against a very powerful Dallas defense tonight. 3rd and 15 from the shotgun. Lots of time for Ferragamo. Into the crowd, and that one almost picked off twice.
It's a good thing they don't have a quarterback controversy here in L.A. because they'd be calling for the backup right now. Their backup is Jeff Kemp. I played with his father, Jack Kemp, Congressman Kemp, but look at this pass. Into a group of people that shouldn't have never been thrown there.
I'll tell you, somebody ran a wrong route there. I don't know whether it was Dickerson. I think it probably was, but Drew Hill and Dickerson should not have been 3 or 4 yards apart on any pass pattern. 4th down, Misko will punt for the Rams, and Gary Allen has dropped for Dallas. And if all things go well for Dallas, they should have good field position following this punt.
Nice turnover, though.
Allen at the 30-yard line. Takes it straight up for 3 more, and the Rams will send out their defensive unit. The Cowboys in good field position. 11:19 remaining in the fourth quarter. The opening game for the Rams and the Cowboys in Los Angeles. I'm getting to the Pro Bowl in Honolulu with those numbers for Ferragamo tonight. 32%.
3 interceptions.
Granted, he has had a lot of pressure, but you know, you wonder about him. In the last year in the playoffs, he was devastating against the Cowboys. And in '79, the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl, he threw 3 touchdowns against these Cowboys en route to that Super Bowl win. That, of course, a playoff win over Dallas.
He's beaten them 3 out of 4 times.
First and 10 Dallas, and Hogaboom lost one of his receivers. It was Cosby who lost his footing, and down he went.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the expressed written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
Now, you promised me you're going to let me do that one
No,
of these
but just
weeks.
listen for me for a while. I mean, you can pick up a lot of stuff if you just listen to it. You'll be ready in a few years.
33-yard line, second down and 10 for Dallas. Dallas coming off a 12-4 season, losing their last 2 games dramatically to Washington, and then being overwhelmed by San Francisco, and then being blown out by the Rams in the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Rams with a 9-7 record last year, lost to Washington in the championship game of the NFC. That might be a lateral.
Well, it sure might be, but they're calling it, I believe.
Saying an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that was close, Frank.
He looked very close.
Hogaboom made that little fake, looked around, saw the linebacker coming. It's what you call a quick turn to the right. Let me get rid of this, baby.
If there's any doubt at all, a back should go for it.
That's right.
Well, I think the ball was on him a little too quick on that play. By the time he turned around, the ball was right on top of him. The Rams have done something in the last 2 series. Earlier, they were blitzing one backer and playing various zones. Now they're blitzing just about everybody and playing a lot more man defense.
Third down and 10. The Rams, of course, have lost Gary Jeter, maybe for the season, with a herniated disc, along with Jack Youngblood. He provided what pass rush the Rams have had over the last couple of years. Shotgun, third down and 10. Hogaboom in a lot of trouble. They'll blow the whistle on this one.
I don't think
I would think they would. Youngblood was all over Hogaboom, and he finally dinked it off to Dorsett.
Well, that's twice in a row that they blitzed Eric Harris, their safety, lined up on one side, and this time he lined up on the other side, and he got there first. He didn't make the tackle, but
I was a little surprised to let Hogaboom go ahead with that play. Usually when they get draped around a quarterback like that, you're going to hear a whistle.
It's a good defensive effort by the Rams that time. They held it together.
Ellard is dropped for the Rams, back close to his 25-yard line. Jim Miller is on to punt. Ellard steps up to the 30-yard line. No fair catch. Stays on his feet. And Ellard out close to the 36-yard line. 36-yard punt by Miller. And a 6-yard return by Ellard to the Rams. Good field position. They'll be at their own 36 when we come back to Anaheim. Everywhere we go. Bob Uecker. Well, the Rams take over first down and 10. The ball at their own 35-yard line. Thus far, Dickerson has been just about the extent of the Rams' offense. 125 yards of their net of 158 yards. Ferragamo 8 of 22, 69 yards, and 3 interceptions. You don't ride home to mom with that kind of a night. Dickerson again. Scrambles near the 40-yard line for a gain of almost 5. It'll be second down and 6 now for the Rams.
well, you saw that play there. Eric was coming back right away. Eric is a true breakaway runner in the sense that every time he gets the ball, he's not worried about getting 4 yards or getting 5 yards. He's not worried about second and short. He is thinking about getting in the end zone. And right now, his mind is trying to get the ball in the end zone. And sometimes he'll make a wrong decision. He got a few yards on that, but he was thinking about going all the way on that play.
Dickerson has topped his effort of the playoff game against the Cowboys of a year ago, and he had 99 yards. And Ferragamo gets it out to George Farmer, and it's a completion close to another Ram first down. Everson Walls defending.
They got the wave going in the stands. The last time they did the wave, Dallas was on the field. So it was like pumping Dallas up, you know.
You know, you could have a lot of fun if you started to wave both directions and just stand back and see what happens.
We call that a riptide.
They were right on the markers, and the officials have ruled a first down. So it'll be at the 45-yard line for the Rams, first down and 10. That time Ferragamo with a good shot to Farmer for the completion and the first down. Crowd exhorting the Rams. Sellout crowd, 65,000 here of a total of 69,000 tickets that were sold. Ferragamo with the blitz on. A single coverage goes out to Farmer, who is working in front of Ron Fellows. And Fellows way off of Farmer. Farmer with excellent speed, as do all of the outside Ram wide receivers, but what they don't have is experience. Farmer, four-year man out of Southern, has not played that much. Henry Ellard and Drew Hill, the other two wide receivers. Drew Hill, as a matter of fact, missed the entire season last year with a herniated disc. Ellard did not have that big a year.
Oh, yeah, he
16 receptions.
He broke a collarbone, Frank, so he missed a lot of last year.
The Rams playing with little experience on the outside with the receivers. Second down and 6. Dickerson wants to throw it.
I've seen better passes.
I've seen much better, and Walls comes down with it.
Oh, Everson.
Always there, Everson.
Everson Walls with the interception. And at least they can't give that one to Ferragamo.
Well, I know there's a lot of talk in this area about our two great backs. Marcus Allen threw a ball 65 yards on the money yesterday. It wasn't caught.
Yeah, but he was a quarterback in high school. I don't think Dickerson was.
Yeah, we could see that.
First pass ever in the NFL for Dickerson.
Probably his last.
Well, now, wait a minute. So he just was a little long that time.
Well, the back really wasn't open. I mean, he laid it out there.
That wasn't that bad. He was just double covered or something like
I
that.
tell you, that's Walls' 23rd interception in 3 years and 1 game.
That's
not bad
amazing.
for a free agent. Came up in 81. He's always around the ball. Cowboys have it first and 10, their own 30. But nevertheless, a very hard-hitting game. And there is the man, Everson Walls, who has provided the 9th turnover of the game. 4 by the Rams, 5 by the Cowboys. 4 interceptions now for the Rams. One from Eric Dickerson and 3 from Vince Ferragamo. Cowboys near their own 31. First down and 10. Dorsett left side.
Look out.
Dorsett will have a first down out at the 42-yard line before he's taken there by Nolan Cromwell.
Boy, he has so much acceleration, and he has that proper body lean. It's amazing how he can run through a lot of tackles.
You think
and he's
he did
holding
not-
on to the ball, I can tell you.
He covered that ball. You couldn't even see that ball.
Oh, yes.
It all happens in Southern California. We're very close to Disneyland. And that, I think, is the fireworks on Labor Day night. That, of course, the shot taken from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. Now we're back to the live action with a first down and 10. Dallas at their own 42. Inside handoff. Timmy Newsom. Big and
Nice
strong. And a flag goes down.
Yeah.
Reggie Doss pursuing Newsom and dropping in after a pickup of about 6, but they'll bring that one back. Holding once again.
There he is. Well, that's probably why he has those glasses on. He's just probably the greatest breakaway runner, or near greatest I've ever seen. He's certainly not going to have us remember any great passes.
Holding, 64, 10 yards, still first down.
Tom Rafferty, the center, detected holding. Down will remain the same, and the Cowboys will now look over a first down and 20. The ball at their own 32-yard line. 8:35 remaining in the game. Regulation time, that is. We're tied at 13, the Cowboys and the Rams. Gary Hogaboom going all the way tonight in his first start ever for Dallas.
Throw a flag.
Tried to get it into Phillips, and the flags are everywhere. Irvin defending against Phillips. He literally tried to run through him.
I tell you, you talk about being in love with your arm. It took so much courage, as we hear the call here, to even throw to Phillips.
That's true.
I mean, Phillips was covered.
Pass interference, defense, number 47, first down.
That's a pair of...
Watch this. Irvin don't know what to do. He said, I got a guy covered. Hey, I'm on him. I have him covered.
And here comes the ball
And
anyway.
the ball's coming anyway.
To his credit, though, Kirk Phillips did the right thing. The one-year man out of Tulsa who was on the injured reserve last year, he came right back to the passer, and it made it difficult for Phillips for Irving to get a hand around there to deflect it. The first down is at the 45-yard line of the Cowboys. Newsom in motion. Dorsett, big opening, and Dorsett gets into Ram territory after a gain of 6. Carl Eckhorn there defensively for the Rams.
I've been asking some of the Cowboy coaches and personnel to try to explain what this new rover back is, but you saw an example of it that time where Newsom, as we mentioned earlier, sets out close right behind the tight end, started in motion just a little bit, slowed down, came back in, and was really the lead blocker on that play.
Yeah, he tagged Carl Irving.
Yeah.
Oh, what an analysis you have.
I tell you, I've got it. I'm watching it.
Second down and 4. The Rams showing blitz, and they bring it. Hogaboom reads it beautifully and gets it to Donley. Donley still on his feet. He has first down yardage. But I'll tell you, it was Hogaboom again with that strong arm, reading the blitz, knowing he had individual coverage, which he did, and fired it on a rope to Donley.
Donley tried that Dorsett spin and didn't quite make it there, Don.
Not quite. Eric Harris drills him right into the ground in a minute.
Hey, he's got something on that ball.
He really does. He zips it out there. He gets by Gary Green, and then here comes Harris. He says, "Zot."
Now, I bet you he would have left the game normally for a play, Donley. But the way this guy is throwing the ball, when you got a guy throwing the ball like this, you want to be on the football field.
He's caught 7, and that's something that doesn't
Missed 3 of the preseason games.
Yeah.
Only 23 receptions in 3 years prior to tonight. Dorsett piled up. Gain of maybe a yard and a half. Jim Collins is there. Right now, Hogaboom is over 300 yards passing, has 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
It's been one of those games where they have spent so much time, they haven't scored that much, spent so much time between the 20s that you're going to throw the ball a whole lot. I'm surprised to see him throw it. It's 43 times. That's a lot of times for Dallas.
Well, it happens a lot when you got stars on offense on both teams. The defense steals the show.
1 behind the Dallas Cowboy record of Danny White for 31 completions. He has tied Don Meredith for 2nd all time.
Well,
hey, that ties Danny White, and it goes to Kirk Phillips, the youngster out of Tulsa, held short of the first down. Mike Renfro, by the way, is in the ball game, number 82. I don't think they wanted to use him tonight if they could have avoided it.
I think the only reason they keep those records is so people like us can talk about them breaking them sometime.
Oh, there's Danny. I guess Danny's feeling, well,
now, Danny
don't have to worry about it now.
No, Danny says,
no more controversy.
Yeah, gosh, he just broke my record. Or tied it.
Oh, this will keep him from writing about it for a week anyway, the quarterback controversy.
Hey, Danny White is a class act. As much as he would like to be out there, as much as he did not like the move to Hogaboom, he'll be the first one to congratulate this youngster. 3rd down, 3, Rams showing blitz. They bring it. Hogaboom reads it. Donley. And Donley inside the 25-yard line. And again, Hogaboom with a good pickup of the blitz by his offensive personnel. Very calmly waited until Donley uncovered and hit him.
Well, I could have completed this pass, Don.
I don't know. I don't think
That's
you
wide
could have,
open.
as a matter of fact.
Oh, don't tell me that. Look at this. I could have shot put at the ball and got that wide open.
Okay. Now he set his own record. You know, one of the things that made it hard, I think, for... No, it's too late. I'll get another one.
The first down is inside the 25, close to the 24-yard line. 5 minutes remaining in the game. Clock moving. We're tied at 13. 330 yards thus far for Hogaboom.
There it is.
Dorsett inside the 20-yard line to the 19-yard line.
You see that lead block again come through Timmy Newsom, or was it Springs that time? Offset of the tackle. It's really a wonderful idea for they come back in. Here's Eckerd, 55, and no, actually hit a guy on the inside. He hit the middle. Wow, he did hit.
I think he hit Meisner.
He did. Meisner, I guess it was, yeah.
Take a lot of guts at 200 and something pounds to come in there and about a 280 pounder.
Yeah, but I tell you,
Dorsett got 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The man looks on. If he wins tonight, he will move into sole possession of 2nd place as the winningest coach of all time. He's tied tonight with Curly Lambeau, 234 victories. He would be 100 games behind the legendary George Hallis. And a great catch by Donley. And what a night this youngster is having. But a flag is down. A flag is down.
That doesn't make any difference. What a catch. That's a left-handed, too, I think.
Yeah, it looked like one of my old catches.
Oh, man.
Hey, I tell you, when a quarterback is hot, everybody loves playing with him, and those things happen.
Holding defense, number 85.
And when a team is hot, those are the things that happen. The Rams struggling. Let's watch him again. This was a great catch.
Just watch him. Little down and in move. Ball's a little bit behind him, Frank.
Oh, yes.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
That's nice.
Now, you see these guys, they're normally with the punters or kickers practicing that before practice every day.
Conley gets a little breather. Renfro is in. First down, goal to go. Dorsett.
It's
In there. Tony Dorsett, and what a great drive of the Cowboys, mixing the run, mixing the completion, not to mention the penalties.
Yeah, you saw Tony do his patented spin, but he had both hands on the ball this time. Let's watch him. As I say, he's the only back in football that has this move, and he uses it all the time. The minute he makes contact, watch him spin, bingo. Let's call it 6.
Timmy Newsom was the guy that did that again. It came on Desjardins. Good lead block.
Lots of time remains. 3:56 on the clock. But one has to question the sputtering Ram offense tonight. Can they pull it together? Ogaboom having a great night. Doug Donnelly, the youngster out of Ohio State, 9 receptions thus far. A couple of key ones on that drive for 136 yards. Septien through the uprights. And the Cowboys, for the first time tonight, have the lead. Tony Dorsett taking it in to put the Cowboys ahead. Dorsett in the first half, 13 yards. Here in the second half, with just under 4 minutes to go, he has 70 yards.
Well, the great ones, you can't keep him down. He had 4 fumbles, and on each fumble, 3 fumbles, but on each fumble, he had good yardage going for him. He just didn't cover the football, and it's not been a bad night for Tony if he would have held on to the ball. Thus far, I'm sure he's happy right now getting the ball in the end zone. The great ones will always come back to make amends for something they've done earlier.
Dropping deep is Drew Hill for the Los Angeles Rams. Very fast. Used to do a lot of return work for the Rams.
Well, as I said earlier, the Rams really don't have a quarterback that they would like to bring in. They have Jeff Kemp, but he's an emergency quarterback. He's a guy that they're going to play him only if they have to play him.
His father, by the way, is here. Congressman Jack Kemp in the audience. Been out here for the past week.
He's my first quarterback when I came into the league.
He was with the Giants, started with the Giants.
Did he?
Yeah, they went up to Buffalo and went to San Diego. There he is. I'll tell you, Donnelly's had some night. I mentioned 9 receptions, 136 yards. Cowboys got him as a second-round draft pick in '81, but he didn't play at all. He's only had 23 receptions in the last 3 years. And now with Drew Pearson retired, Butch Johnson traded, now playing for Denver after being traded to Houston. Now Tony Hill sidelined probably for at least 2 or 3 weeks with a separated shoulder. We don't know how severe that was. We're going to see a lot of Donnelly. We've seen a lot of him tonight. Drew Hill is deep. Septien to kick off. Drew Hill from the end zone. And up to the 20-yard line where the Rams will try to get things pulled together, something they've been unable to do offensively all night long.
Well, the Rams came into this season knowing they would have to improve their passing game. They thought they needed to do that to open up the running game, even though they have an excellent running game. It would be that more effective if they can throw the ball. And tonight, I think, is a case of a quarterback just having an off night.
And also, they are going without Mike Barber, their fine tight end, leading receiver of a year ago. Preston Denard, also one of their top receivers, traded away to Buffalo because they wanted more speed on the outside. They sacrificed the experience of Denard for blazing speed, and I do believe they are paying for it somewhat tonight. Dickerson hook slides at the 25-yard line after a pickup of 5. Bob Brunig, Randy White were there to make sure.
Randy's done a good job because every time Eric runs to his left, he's looking to cut back. That's how you break the long ones. And on 2 occasions now in this fourth quarter, Randy White was right there when Eric cut back. Even though Eric got 5 yards on first down, so that is somewhat of an accomplishment.
Meanwhile, seconds are ticking away. 3:19 and the clock is moving, remaining in the game. The Rams deep in their own territory near the 25, second down and 5. Dickerson. Jugging off tacklers. Look at him. If anyone can win a game on their own, it's this man.
Is he something?
I tell you,
Dallas Cowboys missed this man.
He can fly like Dickerson. He can stop and go like Franco Harris. He can run over you like all the great running backs, like a guy like Riggins. Look at here. He's fast, which means he can get away from the pursuit. Little stop and go right there. Watch him stop and go again. That's what Franco Harris used to do so well. And then he just breaks tackles like all your great backs. I mean, the guy got it all.
Something different, isn't he? Something different indeed. 138 yards on the night. On a night when the Ram offense, other than Dickerson, is totally sputtering. He is the offense tonight. He'll get a little bit of a breather, we would suspect. Dwayne Crutchfield is in there for the Rams.
Oh, boy.
And Ferragamo leads him far upfield. It was Jim Jeffcoat, the defensive end, who peeled off and was covering Crutchfield.
Yeah, but there was no touch on that ball. There was nothing on that ball. I mean, that ball should have been thrown a little up and over and let the backs don't catch the ball that well, swinging out of the backfield. The back should have been able to run under the ball, and he threw it on the line.
Particularly when you're being covered by a defensive end, as he was.
That
could have turned that into a big one.
Jeffcoat out there behind him.
I wonder if he was assigned to do
Yeah,
that.
they do that. That tight end, I mean, the defensive end drops off on
the weak side.
Yeah, certain defenses, and he's got him all the way.
Second down and 10. The Rams, the 49-yard line of the Cowboys, thanks to a 26-yard amazing effort by Dickerson.
Look out.
Ferragamo loses the football. It's loose, and the Cowboys are crawling all over. Jim Jeffcoat is there, but I believe they're going to say that his arm was in motion.
That's what they're saying.
Well, it didn't look any more in motion than Hogaboom's looked earlier in the game.
Well, they caught him from the back, which always makes it look like it pops that thing back.
That ruled an incomplete pass. We'll look at it again. The arm has got to be in motion, whether or not the ball is.
The arm is supposed to be going forward, and that arm didn't appear to be going forward.
Ferragamo gets his first break of the night.
He hasn't got many.
He's provided even fewer. Third down and 10. 49-yard line of the Cowboys.
Oh, boy.
From the shotgun.
Uh-oh.
Ferragamo fires it in. It's complete. It goes to Otis Grant, the tight end, and Otis Grant scrambles for first down yardage. Stops the clock with 2:46 at the 38-yard line.
Well, a lot of quarterbacks will have off nights, and this is obviously an off night, Don. But the only pass he's been able to throw is that little sidearm corner, out pass.
This guy here has had such a good one. I think, we can look at his stats too, but I think what you're saying about Vince is that we expected him to come out bombing that thing. He's known as kind of a mad bomber. That didn't work. Seemed like it kind of messed him up.
They have marked this short of a first down. Grant going out short of the first down by inches. Rams bring in the short yardage offense. On one other occasion, they had the similar situation, and Ferragamo carried it on a quarterback sneak. Ferragamo now 11 of 30, 90 yards, 3 interceptions. Dickerson, of course, the tailback. We'll get a long count, and we'll sweep it with Dickerson.
He didn't make it, I don't think.
And he is going to be close, but I think he's going to be short. Dickerson tripped up. I don't know, with sending him wide like that, he was about a yard short.
I thought they'd go forward. He can at least jump over the crowd. I found it interesting that they had Eugene Lockhart lined up at middle linebacker. He has a little more range. I guess they figure he reacts a little faster. A little surprised they didn't go straight ahead. This is reverse angle, as you'll see here.
And you go wide, they're pulling guards on that.
I don't know. You can't do that against short yardage defense. You pull guards against short yardage when they're playing gap, you're going to be in trouble.
Who was it that tripped his ankle? Did you see that? Was that one of the... I couldn't see that. Somebody got his ankle, it looked like.
It looked like Carl Howard.
Yeah.
Cowboys now can play with the clock. 2:38 remaining in the game. They have a 7-point lead. Doug Donnelly back in the game. He'll be shaken up a little earlier, as you recall.
They're going to need a few first downs.
Dorsett. A lot of trouble. Eric Harris right up there at the strong safety spot to meet Dorsett even before he got to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got to give the Rams defense some credit. They have played some good defense here, considering they haven't got much help from the offense, but not enough.
I remind you, Saturday, ABC's Wide World of Sports, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Ray Boom Boom Mancini against Kenny Bogner. That'll be live from New Orleans, Louisiana. That should be a good one. We'll have the World Cycling Championship from Barcelona, Spain. Cyclists from the U.S., the Soviet Union, East Germany, as they head an international field of the world's best on bicycle at the World Cycling Championships from Barcelona. Wide World of Sports this Saturday, 5 o'clock Eastern. I remind all our West Coast viewers that coming up immediately following the game will be Call to Glory. One of the new hits before the season even begins, I guess.
Well, it's a good apt title for Gary Hogenboom. He's got a little glory in front of him.
He answered it, didn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get into any kind of a quarterback controversy between those two, but I'll tell you something. This youngster has got a great career.
Yeah.
He has got it, and Danny White, I'll tell you, he's one of the fine quarterbacks you're going to find. Maybe he'll be flying his trade somewhere else because he's not the kind of quarterback, I do believe, after being a 4-year starter, that's going to be content. He might be content this year to ride that bench. And, of course, you never know what happens with that quarterback spot, but I think Danny White should be moving on. Hogaboom on the rollout. At the 40-yard line, Wiltshire made the stop, and Hogaboom is back at Central Michigan in the old running T offense.
And Tony was back there saying, don't pitch it to me.
I don't want
You
that.
started this.
Tony wouldn't
finished
even
it.
look at him.
There's a statistic that we have on Danny White that I think is interesting because Danny White, his career average, his teams averaged 26.8 points. Now, that's more than anybody the Cowboys have done that. So, in a way, it was not so much the offense with Danny White. Seems to me the defense. They were scoring too many points. But it always does come back to that guy this time and that position.
Well, they've only scored 20 points, the Cowboys. The Rams have done a good job down near the goal line. It's been a defensive game despite all the completions.
Yeah, Dallas's defense just hasn't been very good lately is what I've been saying.
Well, they've been good today. Tall Jones has had an exceptional game.
They might have scored a few more points if they hadn't turned it over 5 times. 4 fumbles, 1 interception.
That's true.
The Rams tried to match them the best they could. They have 4 interceptions.
The Rams have always been nice.
The Rams are running out of everything. They have 1 timeout remaining, and they'll have the 2-minute warning to work with. Dallas now faced with a 3rd down and 9. As long as an Eric Dickerson is on the field, it won't be over till it's over. Hogaboom. He's a lot more composed back there, even though that was incomplete. He's not shuffling those feet as he was in the first quarter.
Otis Grant says, I can't get Vince to throw me one. I think I'll just catch one of his.
Yeah.
We watched a youngster grow up tonight in Gary Hogaboom.
He's felt he's been mature for a year now. We talked to him today, and he felt he was ready last year. He felt he had won the job last year.
What you have to like, though, is the adversity that he came from tonight with that fumble that set up the Rams' first touchdown. Came right back with an interception to set up a Ram field goal.
Very bad field position.
Jim Miller kicks away. Ellard has to step way up at the 30-yard line and is taken out of bounds at the 34. And so the Rams will have an opportunity with 2:09 remaining. They'll have the 2-minute warning to work with, and they have 1 timeout.
And they're playing the tie. You don't like those. Don't like that situation. The best you can do is tie and go into overtime. But they'll take it now.
Yeah, take it. Yeah.
You have no choice. You got to take it.
And I remind you that Thursday night we'll be at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, where we'll watch the Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers get it on. And then a week from tonight, it'll be the 49ers and the Washington Redskins. Great schedule this year. Hope you'll drop around and be with us. We have some tremendous games coming up. Dallas, by the way, will play the Giants next Sunday at the Meadowlands, and the Rams will be right here in Anaheim against Cleveland next Sunday. We'll see both the Rams and the Cowboys a pair of times on our schedule coming up. On the shotgun.
Too tall.
Too tall is there, and Ferragamo just ducks under him. But he goes down, nevertheless, at the 28-yard line. Jim Jeffcoat was in there helping, but the pressure came from Ed Jones.
Ed's had an excellent game, and he's going up against an all-pro in Jackie Slater, and Jackie just can't handle him today.
Big Ed.
He is. He plays that strong side for Tom Landry. Basically, he is not the man he should be in the pass rush because he thinks run in Landry's philosophy of defense. He's over there with John Dutton. The man they like to turn loose is the weak side end, Jeffcoat, who has replaced Harvey Martin. We'll be back. Goodyear Blimp Columbia, our pilot Charlie Russell and our cameraman Archie Griffin enjoying a beautiful balmy night here in Southern California. There she is, floating around. Or there he is, take your choice. In any event, 2 minutes remain in the game. The Cowboys on top by 7 points. They lead the Rams 20-13. The Rams now faced with a second down and 15. The ball inside their own 30-yard line. From the shotgun. Bergamo goes to Mike Guman. Defensive coverage provided by Clinkscale, who's had quite a night. He's had a pair of interceptions. One coming as an assist, really, with Everson Walls, who prevented a Ram touchdown with a diving deflection that Clinkscale came up with. There's Jeff Kemp, the son of Jack Kemp.
There's nothing he can do there. I got to put him in the game. I don't know if that was a signal putting his hand to his nose or if he was telling Vince, you stink.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Third down, long yardage, Rams.
Turn him loose, Juice.
And this one, Ferragamo had to unload, trying to get him somewhere near Otis Grant, but
I think it was
the Cowboys' defensive front four just laying their ears back and coming. They're not thinking run. They know the Rams have to go deep.
Yeah, here he is.
He would have liked to duck somewhere, but there was nowhere. Everyone was in there.
Big Don Smerick is the guy.
Smerick, great pass rusher. Probably could have been the starting defensive right end had they not had to use Smerick for Randy White during his holdout. Yeah. Meanwhile, Jim Jeffcoat, the #1 draft pick of a year ago from Arizona State, has worked his way into that right end spot that has been vacated by Harvey Martin, who, by the way, is turned announcer, and we'll be hearing from him over the year.
Got a penalty.
Flags everywhere on 4th and long yardage.
Well, you know, we said earlier that there was no quarterback controversy here because Jeff Kemp is definitely a backup. Another game like this, and I don't care what he is, there's going to be a quarterback controversy here.
Why don't we start one and let's get Danny White traded out here?
6-2. 4th down.
Bill Bain on the left side with a quick move. It down remains the same, and the ball is backed up to the 24-yard line, where it will be 4th down now and 20. Not an enviable position, to say the least, because it'll be Smerick, who's in there for John Dutton, Ed Jones, Randy White, Jim Jeffcoat. They're just going to put the skates on and let it fly. Ferragamo, kickoff. This is Michael Downs.
Michael says, I got one too.
Michael Downs brings it back. And I think maybe what he was concerned about was that Downs probably should have knocked it down. Tom probably not figuring that Downs would bring it back in as good a shape as he did. Had he knocked it down, the ball would have been the Cowboys at the line of scrimmage, and that's about where it is anyway.
Hey, Michael, say you knocked it down. I get paid based on my statistics.
Yeah.
Read the back of my contract, Buster.
Yeah, right.
It says interception.
You're not going to find anybody knocking them down back there.
Yeah, hey.
They don't think that way. I'm sorry, Coach.
First down, Dallas. And they have this one pretty well wrapped up. Rams down to their final timeout. Gary Hogaboom has been sensational. This one he hands off to Timmy Newsom. The right side of the Rams will use their final timeout. And Tom Landry, for all appearances, will become the second winningest coach of all time with 235 victories, trailing only George Halas, who had 335. I want to remind you later tonight on Nightline with Ted Koppel. Until today, he was known as Michael Witkowski, printer. But from this day on, he'll always be known as the $40 million man. That fascinating story, and Ted Koppel tonight on Nightline following the late local news. And this will also be the 19th out of 20 season openers the Cowboys have won.
They're tough on opening day.
All 11 of them on the road.
I remind you, this ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Michelob. One smooth and mellow taste tells you that some things speak for themselves.
Well, Don, make sure you say hello to Broadway for me next week.
I'll do
this
it.
Thursday. I won't be with you, but I'll see you in San Francisco.
I'll see
Show
in
you my
San
town.
Francisco.
next
Will you
Monday.
promise to do that?
I will.
All right.
He works Columbus Avenue.
Yeah, I'm king of Columbus. I like that. All right, well, I will. We'll do that. Cowboys look a lot different than they did when we saw them against Pittsburgh.
We'll see him again Sunday, October the 21st against New Orleans, and then again December the 17th against Miami. Second down in long yardage. The Rams can't stop it again. Newsom, he'll stay inbounds.
Yeah,
He thought about it.
He was thinking, no,
He was thinking he might be able to squeeze that into the end zone, but he caught in the wrath of Landry tomorrow at game films if he went out of bounds to stop the clock.
That's Vince. And I'm going to tell you, Vince is a good quarterback. He throws it good up. He's had an off night. This Ram team is still going to be a team they're going to have to reckon with. They got to shore up that pass defense a little bit when you think they got to play against the 49ers a couple of times. But they're a better team. Well, defensively, they did all right. They only gave up 20 points tonight, despite all the turnovers. Offensively, Ferragamo's going to complete some pass. There he is. He knows he's had a bad night.
I'm going to lay this one on you. The Cowboys have never lost an opener on the road. They're 11-0. Too bad they can't play all their games as openers. They'll be able to work that out.
Well, I've got some stats if I can just find them around here somewhere.
Tell me an
Are
It's
you ready?
obviously what we're into at this moment, stats.
All right, watch this. You ready? Now, a lot of coaches tell you that it doesn't make a difference who wins the opening game.
Let me just point out quickly, Don, though, the Cowboys have called this timeout, by the way.
Oh, they have?
Yes.
Okay, well, good. Here are the facts. From 1978 through 83, including the strike season, 47% of the teams that won an opening day went on to the playoffs.
All right.
While only 24% of the teams which lost on opening day reached the playoffs.
Well, I think-
Furthermore, of the
Furthermore.
36 teams which eventually reached the Super Bowl, only 4 lost on opening day, including the Redskins in 83 who lost to Dallas.
Could you repeat that?
No, I don't know what it means. It means you should win on opening day.
Well, they don't look like they won.
Now, they really thought they had it. They were very confident. We happen to be staying in the same hotel with these guys. And
Hey, their division is going to be much tougher this year. Atlanta, Riggs came on really to replace William Andrews, had a 200-yard day against New Orleans. New Orleans, we know, is going to be tough. The Rams have got a very tough division in the Western Division of the NFC as Timmy Newsom
that did it.
works on some more seconds, picks up the first down in the process.
Well, once again, I think if you really look at this game, the Rams' offensive line played well. The defensive line played well. They didn't get to the quarterback as much as they should have. They didn't put enough pressure without blitzing. They just had a quarterback who had an off night tonight.
I want to thank our stats graphics and research man, Steve Hurt. He digs all that stuff out that Don was letting you have a while ago.
That's right.
He is amazing.
He is
Our
amazing.
statistician, Joe Cox, and our spotter, Steve Bazika from the Hall of Fame town, Canton, Ohio. And Johnny Robinson will lose his opener. He's going to win a lot of games, however. Fine young second-year coach. Tom Landry gives Robinson a wave. And Tom Landry has won his 235th career football game. We'll be back.